Gunning for Modi government and now has said that there must be a fast-paced investigation into this tragedy, urging the Bharatiya Janata Party to ensure probe does not go on for years. TMC has said CBI probed for 13 years in the 2010 train tragedy and all accused got bail while the investigation was on. 148 people had died in the Janeshwari Express tragedy in 2010. And the TMC is saying the CBI probe went for 13 years, all accused got bail. This time there must be some accountability and a time-bound investigation. Now, the opposition parties are clearly gunning for Modi government, saying that the Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw resign, take moral responsibility of this terrible tragedy where approximately 300 people lost their life, thousands were injured, many missing. Now, here's how the politics has played out in this tragedy and how the government is facing criticism.
Huge political showdown over the horrific Odisha train tragedy. The opposition tore into Rail Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, seeking his scalp for the ghastly tragedy.
जो बार-बार दावा किया जाता था रेलवे द्वारा कि हम जो है सिक्योरिटी जो है सेफ्टी जो है वो प्रायोरिटी है, लेकिन इतना बड़ा हादसा हो गया, लेकिन अभी भी किसी पे जिम्मेवारी जो है वो तय नहीं है कि जिम्मेवार कौन। इट्स अ टोटल फेलियर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, रेलवे मिनिस्टर प्लस प्राइम मिनिस्टर।
हमारी ये स्पष्ट मांग है कि रेलवे मिनिस्टर को तुरंत नैतिक जिम्मेदारी लेते हुए इस्तीफा देना चाहिए। सीएजी रिपोर्ट, पार्लियामेंट की स्टैंडिंग कमेटी रिपोर्ट, इन तमाम रिपोर्टों का, और ये 9 फरवरी की जो रिपोर्ट थी साउथ वेस्टर्न रेलवे की, इन सब रिपोर्टों पे जो सवाल उठते हैं, इन सवालों का जवाब प्रधानमंत्री जी की तरफ से कौन देगा, और मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि ये सवाल आप उठाएंगे।
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee accused the centre of fudging and downplaying the death data.
আমি তো দেখছি আমাদের কাছে লিস্ট মৃত্যুর বাড়ছে, ওদের কাছে লিস্ট কমছে। আমাদেরই তো 182 জনকে আমরা এখনো পর্যন্ত আমাদের মিসিং আছে আইডেন্টিফাইড করতে পারিনি। যা খবর আমাদের কাছে এসছে 61 জন তো অলরেডি মারা গেছে। তো একটা রাজ্যেই যদি 182 আর 61 মারা যায় তাহলে সংখ্যাটা কি হলো?
The rail minister countered Mamata Banerjee's claim that mishap was due to failure of anti-collision systems.
रेलवे को स्पेशली ट्रीट नहीं करने से क्या होता है? कोऑर्डिनेशन गैप हो गया है। मैंने जब मिनिस्टर था, मैंने एंटी कॉल्यूशन डिवाइस तैयार किया था। इसमें एंटी कॉल्यूशन डिवाइस नहीं लगाया, जितना तक मेरे का जानकारी है। अगर एंटी कॉल्यूशन डिवाइस लगाता था तो कोई इंसिडेंट नहीं होता।
कवच का इससे कोई संबंध नहीं। कल ममता जी आके बोल के गई थी, उनको जितना इस विषय के बारे में जानकारी होगी उसके हिसाब से उन्होंने कहा ये विषय अलग है। इस विषय में पॉइंट मशीन की बात है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंटरलॉकिंग की बात है। इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंटरलॉकिंग में जो चेंज किया जिसके कारण ये दुर्घटना हुई, जिसने भी किया, जिसने भी जो भी इसके कारण है वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन से निकलेगा। इसका बात जो ममता जी ने कही वो नहीं है।
The BJP backed Vaishnaw, referring his 36-hour marathon monitoring of rescue, relief and restoration work at the mishap site, calling him the most hands-on rail mantri compared to the photo op mantris in the past. BJP also referred to the host of train accidents under Mamata Banerjee, Nitish and Lalu Prasad's tenures as rail mantri.
It's very clear our CRPC lays out a proper procedure and the state government has time to time they have given the correct accurate information. As on now the accurate information is 261, right? So we want full transparency. This is not the time to do politics.
Union Ministers Mandavia and Pradhan accompanied Ashwini Vaishnaw to oversee track restoration and relief. They also met survivors at Cuttack and Balasore hospitals.
एबे भी आज जो केंद्रीय स्वास्थ्य मंत्री तथा रेलवे विभाग मंत्री श्री मनसुख मांडविया और अश्विनी वैष्णव सागर आम ये परिदर्शन कलु। मनसुख मांडविया महाशय आसते से आज सका पहुँचले डॉक्टर्स मान को लेके आसते।
जब आपदा होती है वैसी स्थिति में एक कोऑर्डिनेटिव एफर्ट बहुत आवश्यक है। सब लोग एक साथ में मिलकर कैसे काम करें ताकि हम आने वाले दिनों में और लोगों को बचा पाए।
ब्यूरो रिपोर्ट, इंडिया टुडे।
Right, bringing up big breaking news for you now over the Odisha train tragedy, and connected to that is Southeast Railway account books have been accessed by India Today, and some details have been collected by my colleague as well, saying no spending on anti-collision systems in past 3 years. Amount that was sanctioned was about 1,243 crore rupees, but no money has been spent on this. India Today has accessed the pink books of the Southeast Railway Zone SER, which shows zero expenditure done on train collision systems in last 3 years. While a lot has been spoken about how the railway spending on safety works has declined over the past few years, financial data that has been accessed, and we are talking data here, we're talking statistics, not rhetoric or speculation, that not a single penny was spent of the budget allocated for the collision avoidance system. And this is, of course, now the debate has been via what remember the opposition has also been charging against the government if there were enough safety systems in place. But now with the books accessed, we have this information that 1,200 crore rupees was apparently sanctioned, but allegedly not even 1 rupee was spent over this in the past 3 years. So remember, there is, of course, a lot about safety works that has been mentioned by the government, trying to say that the system has been modernized over the years. But the financial data accessed by India Today shows that not much money was being spent about out of the budget allocated for the indigenous train collision avoidance system in the southeast zonal railways, where the Balasore incident has taken place. It does come under the Southeast Railways, and that tragedy that has taken place, claiming the life of approximately 300 people and injuring about 1,000 people. Let me now take you to the state of Bihar, where an under-construction bridge collapsed for the second time and has led to massive politics. The incident happened on River Ganga in Bihar's Khagadia. Visuals were caught on camera and showed two parts of the bridge collapsing one after another. The bridge was being constructed with a cost of a whopping amount of 1,700 crore rupees. The middle portion of the bridge was being constructed on River Ganga between Khagadia, Aguvani and Sultanganj. The bridge suffered some damage back in April 2022 as well due to a storm. Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Tejashwi Yadav immediately holding a press conference clarifying after the bridge collapsed for the first time. IIT Roorkee had investigated. Bridge was broken because there were doubts about the design. But the BJP has jumped in, slamming Nitish-led government in Bihar for corruption, saying they are clearly responsible for this. Remember, Nitish Kumar had laid the foundation stone of this bridge, and that had happened 4 years ago. The bridge was still in the making.
पहले से ही हम लोगों को शंका थी कि इसमें डिज़ाइन में फॉल्ट है, उसलिए काफ़ी स्ट्रक्चरल चीज़ें जो हैं तोड़े गए, और हम लोगों का निर्णय था कि पूरी तरीके से तोड़ करके, क्योंकि बार बार कंप्लेन आ रहा था, माननीय सदस्यों ने दोनों बार जो है इस बात को दोनों सदस्यों ने विधानसभा में उठाया था, तो अब हम लोग निर्णय पे ले कि भाई नहीं, इसको पूरी तरीके से तोड़वा करके, क्योंकि कोई रिस्क नहीं लेना है, इसलिए पूरी तरीके से तोड़वा करके पुनः सिरे से हम लोग जो है कार्य को प्रारंभ करेंगे।
यह पुल आज भ्रष्टाचार को भेंट चढ़ गया। इसकी जांच पूरी तरह से अविलंब होनी चाहिए, और साथ ही बिहार सरकार को धृतराष्ट्र की तरह आंखें न मूंद रखें और पुल निर्माण निगम के सभी सेतु की सेफ्टी जांच कराएं। सेफ्टी ऑडिट की जांच अवश्य होनी चाहिए, जिससे जान माल की रक्षा हो सके। मुझे दुखी मन से कहना पड़ रहा है कि बिहार राज्य सेतु निगम द्वारा निर्माणाधीन यह जो पुल है, उस पर भगवान भरोसे ही काम हो रहा है। दोषियों पर अविलंब सख्त से सख्त कड़ी कार्रवाई।
फिर से बिहार में एक बड़ी घटना, अगवानी में भागलपुर में पुल गिरा और निर्माण की स्थिति में, और अगर ये चीज फिर से होता धोखा बिहार की जनता के साथ, दो सवाल है। कैसे बन रहा है बिहार में इतना असुरक्षित पुल, सरकार कहाँ है, ठेकेदार कौन है, और कैसे हो रही है ठेकेदारी, और ये काम अब हो रहा है। तो बिहार की सरकार को बड़ा जवाब देना पड़ेगा कि बनने के बाद गिरता, लेकिन बनने के क्रम में भी पुलें गिर जा रही हैं, और बहुत चिंता का विषय है। बड़े सवाल खड़े हो गए बिहार की सरकार के फंक्शनिंग पर। बिहार के माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी को बड़ा जवाब देना पड़ेगा ऐसी घटनाओं पर।
A bridge being made at a whopping amount of 1,700 crore rupees and is still in making 4 years ago, and that also collapses. Let's get an update from Bihar on this. Joining me is my colleague Shashi Kumar from Patna. Shashi, I think you're standing right in front of the bridge. थोड़ा हमको details दीजिए। 4 साल से bridge बन रहा है और वो भी गिर गया, तो किस तरह से इसको सरकार डिफेंड कर रही है, and how is the opposition jumping at it?
देखिए 2014 में नीतीश कुमार जो बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, उन्होंने इस पुल का शिलान्यास किया था और इसी साल दिसंबर महीने में इसका काम पूरा होना था। मतलब उद्घाटन जो है वो दिसंबर महीने में होना था। लेकिन आपको देखे तस्वीरें दिखाते हैं सीधे, जो पूरा ब्रिज नीचे आया है 3 पिलर सुपर स्ट्रक्चर के साथ, इस वक्त गंगा नदी जो है उसकी गोद में है, और ये अपने आप में कहीं ना कहीं भ्रष्टाचार की कहानी जो है वो बयां करता है, और आरोप भी सरकार के ऊपर इसी को लेकर के लग रहे हैं। एसपी सिंघला कंपनी है जिस कंपनी के द्वारा निर्माण किया जा रहा था, और हैरत की बात यह है कि 2022 में भी अप्रैल के महीने में एक पिलर नंबर 5 का जो सेगमेंट था वो नीचे आया था। उसकी इंक्वायरी जो है वो की आदेश हुए थे, लेकिन उसकी रिपोर्ट नहीं आई। और जो बिहार के डिप्टी सीएम है और पथ निर्माण मंत्री, उन्होंने कहा कि आईआईटी रुड़की के एक्सपर्ट बता रहे थे कि इस पुल का जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो ठीक अलाइन नहीं है और इसको हम लोग गिराने वाले थे, या मतलब इसमें मॉडिफिकेशन करने वाले थे। लेकिन हैरत ये भी है कि कल दोपहर तक यहाँ काम हो रहा था, शाम 6:10 पे यह हादसा हुआ। 3 पिलर जो है वो नीचे आए सुपर स्ट्रक्चर के साथ, लेकिन उसके ठीक पहले तक काम हो रहा था। अगर सरकार ने ये
सवाल ये भी उठ रहा है, और मैं आपसे दूसरा सवाल पूछूंगी शशि। 2 साल में 2 बार गिर गया, 2022 में भी अप्रैल में हादसा हुआ था, तब गिर गया था, और उसके बाद ये 1700 करोड़ पे अगर एक ब्रिज नहीं बन पा रहा है, एक डिजाइन नहीं कंफर्म कर पा रहे हैं, तो इसको किस तरह से सरकार डिफेंड कर रही है? अब ये क्या वर्क फिर से शुरू होगा, कब शुरू होगा, इसके बारे में कुछ हमें बताएं।
देखिए कब काम शुरू होगा ये तो सरकार ने नहीं बताया है, ना तो पुल निर्माण निगम की तरफ से कोई ऑफिशियल जानकारी आई है। लेकिन हाँ, जो पथ निर्माण विभाग के अधिकारी हैं और खुद डिप्टी सीएम तेजस्वी यादव, कल रात उन्होंने प्रेस ब्रीफिंग की थी पुल गिरने के 3 घंटे के अंदर, और उन्होंने कहा था कि एक हम इंक्वायरी सेटअप कर रहे हैं। लेकिन सवाल ये है पूजा कि जब इंक्वायरी पहले ही सेटअप की गई थी 2022 में, जब एक सेगमेंट गिरा था, उसकी रिपोर्ट क्यों नहीं आई? अगर रिपोर्ट आई तो वो सामने क्यों नहीं आई? किन लोगों पर एक्शन किया गया? क्या जो निर्माण एजेंसी है एसपी सिंघला, उस एजेंसी के ऊपर कोई एक्शन लिया गया? ये तमाम ऐसे सवाल हैं जिसका जवाब सरकार नहीं दे रही है। एक बार फिर से मुख्यमंत्री ने इंक्वायरी सेटअप करने की बात कही है, जांच की बात कही है। और एक और बहुत दिलचस्प बात है कि इसी साल बिहार विधानसभा का जब असेंबली सेशन चल रहा था, तो 2 दफे मार्च के महीने में 3 तारीख और 15 तारीख को 2 दफे इसी पुल से जुड़ा जो क्वेश्चन है वो आया था बजट सत्र में। और जेडीयू के ही एमएलए हैं संजीव कुमार, जो स्थानीय एमएलए हैं परबत्ता से, उन्होंने क्वेश्चन किया था और तेजस्वी यादव ने भरोसा दिया था कि जो काम है उसमें कोताही नहीं बरती जाएगी, जो जांच है वो करवाएंगे अपने स्तर से। लेकिन तमाम वादे जो हैं वो सिर्फ विधानसभा तक रुके पड़े रहे, जो सरकार के कागज और फाइल से वहां रुके रहे। जमीन पर कोई भी जांच नहीं हुई, और अगर जांच हुई भी तो उसकी रिपोर्ट में क्या आया ये बात सरकार नहीं बता रही है। तो सरकार के लिए बड़ी फजीहत वाली स्थिति है। आरोप करप्शन के लग रहे हैं, भ्रष्टाचार के लग रहे हैं।
कितना बड़ा ये एरिया है जिसपे ये ब्रिज बना है, ताकि हम अपने व्यूअर्स को भी बता पाए जब ब्रिज गिरा तो हम कितने एरिया की बात करें, फाइनली हमको दिखाएं जरा कुछ।
बिल्कुल, देखिए हमारे जो बाईं तरफ से हम दिखाना शुरू करते हैं, ये जो बाईं तरफ का इलाका है, हम तो सहयोगी कैमरा पर्सन से कहेंगे दिखाएं। ये जो है अगवानी घाट का इलाका है जो खगड़िया जिले से आता है, और यहाँ से ये पुल आगे की तरफ जाता है। 4 किलोमीटर लगभग लंबा ये पूरा स्ट्रेच है पुल का, और उसमें पाया नंबर 10, 11 और 12 ये 3 पिलर सुपर स्ट्रक्चर के साथ नीचे आ गए। दूसरी तरफ देखिए सुल्तानगंज घाट का इलाका है जहां पर यह पुल उस तरफ निर्माण हो रहा है अभी, लेकिन ये बीच का पूरा हिस्सा कोलैप्स हो चुका है। और मैं खुद जाकर के देख रहा था उस स्ट्रक्चर के ऊपर जाकर के कि क्या स्थिति है, तो वहाँ जो मटेरियल दिख रहा है वो बहुत ही हैरान करने वाला है। जो सरिया होता है, जो छड़ होता है, उसके साथ सीमेंटिंग की कोई पकड़ नहीं दिखती है, और कोई भी सीमेंट का टुकड़ा या हिस्सा उठा के अगर आप 2 फीट 3 फीट ऊपर से भी अगर गिराते हैं तो वो बालू की ढेर की तरह टूट करके बिखर जाता है। तो ये अपने आप में बताता है कि निर्माण क्वालिटी जो है, जो स्टैंडर्ड क्वालिटी होना चाहिए था, उसका पालन लगता है नहीं किया गया। और ये
Implementations are being done, Shashi. 1,700 crore rupees, twice it has fallen. There is something clearly wrong either with the structure or there is further allegations coming in of corruption. All of that will have to be investigated. Why can't they reach a conclusion? Thank you so much. Shashi Kumar joining us from Patna with the latest on that. He's telling us how the bridge had fallen, what happened twice in 2 years. And this has become a huge political issue as well. Let's go across now to the United States of America, where Rahul Gandhi presently is. And he's been all guns blazing at the Modi government. This is a 3-city tour. He's now in New York. And of course, one of the most expected reactions was with regard to Odisha tragedy. He's targeted Modi government. He's now in New York. It's again the diaspora outreach. It's been a 10-day US tour, remember, and specifically meeting the Indian American diaspora. This happened now at the Javits Center on Sunday, and addressing the audience, Rahul Gandhi, with a sharp attack at Modi government and Prime Minister Modi specifically, compared him to Gandhi's assassin, Nathuram Godse. Rahul, in a scathing remark, asserted how in India there's been a fight between two ideologies. The fight is more like a fight between Mahatma Gandhi and Godse. Rahul Gandhi's trip to the United States of America is days before Prime Minister Modi is set to visit on an official state visit to the USA on 22nd June. This, remember, is going to be one of the last events of Rahul Gandhi, but there will be a massive campaign rally at New York City's Madison Square Garden, and the attempt is to reach out to the diaspora to support him and the Congress. Let's try and get perspective about what Rahul Gandhi has now said in New York. I'm going to go across to a senior journalist joining me from USA, Hiral Sachdev, with the latest on that. Hiral, good morning here, at least with the time here, but what did Rahul Gandhi say? Because he is still clearly all guns blazing against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Modi government. That's been his focus from day one, isn't it?
Yes, it has. There were quite a few witty quips today, Pooja, about the Modi government and Prime Minister Modi himself and what the BJP does. There was RSS brought into the conversation. So yes, a very interesting thing that he said was that the BJP and RSS both are driving the car of India while looking in the rearview mirror all the time. By that, what he meant to say was that whatever happens, whenever something happens in India, they always have to go back and say, oh, but in the past, Congress has done this and Congress has done that. So those were some of the things that came of it. And he tried to portray that Congress is the party that is for unity, for love, for brotherhood, for no communalism, and they want to bring about an egalitarian kind of a rule. But yes, so those were some of the points where they were taking digs at the Modi government. Pooja,
what is the remaining part of Rahul Gandhi's visit looking like? Because there's been a lot of criticism that, again, when you go abroad, as S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, says that there's things beyond politics as well. You go abroad and all you have is negativity to show about what's happening in India. What is the remaining visit of Rahul Gandhi looking like? Who is he likely to meet? What is on agenda? Because this comes just before, days before Prime Minister Modi is set to visit USA.
Well, he did. So as far as I understand, interacting with students is something that he's also done in the past. This time, what was different is he did have a high-level meeting yesterday with some of the select few business and political figures of New York City. That included the mayor's office here. And apart from that, there was this interaction today.
Okay.
So, with all said and done, he is trying to go out and trying to keep a balance between meeting up with influential leaders locally and the diaspora to make a appeal that hey, he's their leader, he can lead the country. And today there was a very clear indication from Sam Pitroda, who opened the speech for Rahul Gandhi. He said that the diaspora should come forward and show their tangible support in whatever they can, whether they vote, whether they support a local candidate who's running from their constituency back home. Or probably help them fund their campaign and help them move forward with their agenda of trying to bring a Congress-led government in 2024.
Very interesting. This is reaching out to the diaspora, and will it help in support back home here in India as in when the elections are taking on? Thank you so much. Hiral Sajde joining us from the USA on the latest on what Rahul Gandhi has said in New York now. So this is now the big political story coming in today. Even in the third city that Rahul Gandhi has been, it's all guns blazing against Modi government, sharp attacks and expecting support from the diaspora for upcoming elections and more. I'm leaving you with these visuals of the top story. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.
The task was huge. Most of the coaches had suffered damage. Passengers had to be pulled out, in some cases cutting through the mangled iron debris.
भीषण गर्मी है यहाँ पे और एनडीआरएफ की टीम, आर्मी की टीम, ओडिशा डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट की टीम सब सुबह से डटे हुए हैं। पूरी रात वो लोग ये काम किए हैं। जिस बोगी को इस वक्त काटने की कोशिश हो रही है गैस कटर से, अब देखिए उस बोगी का हाल क्या है। 3 बोगी एक के ऊपर दूसरा वहाँ पे चढ़ गया है। मैं आपको दिखाने की कोशिश करूँगा। ये देखिए यहाँ पे 3 बोगियाँ हैं। पहले ये है मालगाड़ी सबसे नीचे, उसके ऊपर जो काटा जा रहा है वो एक बोगी है और उसके ऊपर और एक बोगी है। ये दोनों ही बोगी कोरोमंडल एक्सप्रेस का है और जो काटने की कोशिश हो रही है, हम लोग सुबह से देख रहे थे, बहुत ही परेशानी हो रही है एनडीआरएफ की टीम को उस मलबे को साफ करके वहाँ से डेड बॉडी निकालने का।
Rescuers moved from one bogie to another, looking for life.
देखिए ये इतना भीषण अभिघात है। ये जो ट्रेन है, ये कोरोमंडल एक्सप्रेस के जो पार्सल वैन है, बिल्कुल पलट चुका है और इतना भीषण था ये हादसा कि इसके बगल वाले जो इलेक्ट्रिक के जो खंबे थे, बिजली के खंबे जिसके जरिए इन पटरियों पर रफ्तार पकड़ती हुई ट्रेनें दौड़ती है, वो बिल्कुल उखड़ गया, बिल्कुल यहाँ से वहाँ हो गया और वो बिल्कुल पलट चुका है। ये वो जगह है जहाँ पर सबसे ज्यादा हादसे की जो निशान अब देखी जा सकती है।
Over 200 ambulances, 50 buses and 45 mobile health units were rushed to the site. More than 1,200 personnel deployed. By Saturday morning, the Indian Air Force and Indian Army too joined the rescue operation.
एनडीआरएफ की टीम पहली टीम ही 1.25 घंटे के अंदर वहां पहुंच गई थी। उसके बाद हमने 8 एडिशनल टीमें भेजी हैं। टोटल 9 टीमें वहां काम कर रही हैं। 300 रेस्क्यूज हैं। उसके साथ साथ में स्टेट डिजास्टर रिस्पांस फोर्स की बड़ी संख्या ऑर्डरएफ की वहां उपलब्ध है। तो मैन पावर की, इक्विपमेंट की कोई कमी नहीं है। लेकिन एक बहुत ही बड़ा हादसा है। काफी कोचेज इन्वॉल्व हैं। जिस मोमेंटम से क्रश हुए हैं उसमें घुसने में दिक्कत इस तरह की आती है कि लाइव विक्टिम हो तो कटिंग में उसको नुकसान ना हो, तो हमें बहुत ध्यान से काम करना पड़ता है।
Railway sources tell India Today initial signs point to signal failure. How did the Coromandel Express land on a loop line with a parked goods train? An error that has cost hundreds of lives. Bureau Report, India Today.
It's the start of the peak travel season, when wealthy Indians travel abroad to visit families, for tourism, for start of a new academic seasons in colleges, adding to the usual rush of business travelers. The rush is especially heavy this year with the World Health Organization ending the global COVID emergency. According to some estimates, travel bookings are up 30 to 40% this season. The bad news, starting 1st of July, every international ticket booked for every foreign tour package booked, you will have to also pay a tax of 20%. As per a tweak announced in the union budget, tax collected at source on foreign remittances will rise to 20% on the total transaction amount from the current 5%. This means on an air ticket to London from New Delhi, which costs around 40,000 rupees, you will have to pay a tax of 8,000 rupees instead of 2,000 rupees you are paying now. The amount of tax collected will be adjusted in your total tax outgo when you file your return. You may also be eligible for a refund. But what this move has done is make your travel more expensive at the outset. And it's not just air tickets, but your hotel stay, the restaurant bill you pay in the foreign currency, your spend on taxis, basically your entire forex spend will be taxed at 20%. But this is not the only big blow for foreign travelers. In a crucial move, the Reserve Bank of India has amended rules governing the annual forex spent by Indians. All international credit card spends outside India have been brought under the Liberalized Remittance Scheme or the LRS. This means that spending on international credit cards will immediately attract a 5% tax collected at source, which will increase to 20% from July. It will also set a spending limit of $250,000 a year. For this, the 20-year-old Rule 7 of FEMA has been scrapped. While the move will discourage exorbitant personal spending by high net worth individuals on foreign trips, it will also help authorities track high-value overseas transactions and temper forex outgo. This comes even as there has been a huge spike in forex spending in overseas travel.
Is there enough understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times, only on India Today.
Powered by Volta's Pure Air 6-stage adjustable AC.
Co-powered by
The world comes together at Sharda University. Samsung bespoke side-by-side refrigerator.
Airtel 5G Plus.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for tuning into India Today Television. I'm Pooja Shali. Let's begin first with the headlines. Southeast Railway account books have been accessed. No spending on the anti-collision systems in 3 years. Out of 943 crore rupees sanctioned, no money was spent. Rail Minister at the forefront of the relief operations for over 51 hours. Opposition unites to attack Modi government. Says centre is allegedly downplaying the death toll. Rahul Gandhi attacks Modi government in New York in the 3-city tour over the Odisha train tragedy. Says Modi is driving the car of India, looking at the rear-view mirror. Congress minister resigned last time a tragedy happened, he said.
Congress party did not get up and say, now it is the fault of the British that the train has crashed. No, the Congress minister, I remember, said, it is my responsibility the train has crashed, I am resigning.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar orders an investigation into the bridge collapse. BJP quick to attack Nitish Kumar over this collapse. Says criminal collusion of Neta Babu builder. A year after the hijab halal azan controversies, Congress party vows to revoke the cow slaughter ban. Says nothing wrong in slaughtering cows. I'm bringing a mega India Today exclusive news break to you with regard to the railways. The Southeast Railway account books have been accessed by India Today, and that there was no spending allegedly on the anti-collision systems in past 3 years. The amount was sanctioned of a whopping about 943 crore rupees, but no money has been spent. This is showing zero expenditure from the pink books of the Southeast Railway zone. Remember, this is the same zone where the Odisha tragedy, the Balasore train tragedy has taken place. There is a lot of mention of the safety works, but India Today now shows not a single penny was spent on the budget allocated for the indigenous train collision avoidance system in the Southeast Zonal Railways, where the Balasore tragedy has claimed the life of almost 300 and with more than 1,000 injured. Ashutosh Mishra joins me for the latest on that. Ashutosh, this is big news. What are the details that you have?
Well, Pooja, we have accessed this data, the accounts book from the railways. In fact, my colleague Milan has been sending all these data. And what this says, that this is sheer negligence as far as the railway safety and security is concerned. It has been literally compromised by not spending the allocated money. Remember, the Kavach, which is the a technology which prevents such kind of incident ever in the future, and there has been allocation of the fund over the years in different years, but despite of this allocation, these funds have not been spent, and particularly in the southern eastern region, which includes the state of Odisha and which also includes the place where this train mishap literally happened. So what this report says, this also says that since there had been multiple allocation, that in say the cost of 468 crore that was sanctioned for Southeastern Railways, which is for the provision of indigenous train collision avoidance system, also called as Kavach, for the longer route, but that money has not been spent, and this is not just for 1 year. And remember, the opposition has also been criticizing the government, citing the CAG report, which says that how the allocation has also been reduced, how there have been literally the money has not been spent, particularly in terms of security. And the mega and the biggest accusation that coming on the government from the opposition is that how 1% population which travels from Vande Bharat is giving more popularity. Rather, government is totally has ignored the 99% on the general railways, general lines, as far as their safety, railway
safety
is
concerned. Trying to focus on the Vande Bharat, which is a great initiative. Have we at any point let go of the traditional railways that we also have? This is something that's becoming a huge debate also now. Ashutosh, keep getting us the details. Ashutosh Mishra and Milan Sharma are getting us the details about the amount that was sanctioned with regard to the Southeast Zone railways, but not a penny was spent in the past 3 years over the anti-collision avoidance system. The accountability will have to be set. While the restoration work is on, who let the incident happen in the first place will be ensured to be punished so that there can be a system to be put in place, and this is the last that we see. But now there is an investigation demand from the Central Bureau of Investigation. The CBI probe demand has come suggested from the Railway Board. Rail Minister has said the root cause has been identified, but there must be a CBI inquiry into this horrific 3-train collision, calling it a possible case of sabotage. The agency had earlier also investigated such cases, but politics has erupted. Launching scathing attacks, Trinamool Congress is leading the charge, calling the CBI inquiry demand a gimmick to divert people's attention from the tragedy. Here's what the netas are saying while there is a CBI demand now.
इस विषय में पॉइंट मशीन की बात है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंटरलॉकिंग की बात है। इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंटरलॉकिंग में जो चेंज किया जिसके कारण ये दुर्घटना हुई, जिसने भी किया, जिसने भी जो भी इसके कारण है वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन से निकलेगा। जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है और जो परिस्थितियां हैं उन सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है उस सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है। जिस तत्परता के साथ प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने काम करने के आदेश दिए थे, पूरी टीम ने उसी तत्परता के साथ काम करके एक प्रॉपर सिस्टम से दोनों की दोनों पटरियों को रिस्टोर कर दिया है और दुर्घटना के, इस भयानक दुर्घटना के 51 घंटे के अंदर अंदर वापस ट्रेन का मूवमेंट नॉर्मलाइज हो गया है।
मोदी सरकार के कखनोई मानुष क्षमा करबे ना। সেই কবচ কোথায় গেল? মেক ইন ইন্ডিয়া আজকে হয়ে গেল ডিজাস্টার ইন্ডিয়া। কবচ শুধু মোদি সরকার পড়ে রয়েছে।
ये जो रेल के हादसा पर सीबीआई ऑर्डर का बात हो रहा है, ये एक आई वॉश है, क्योंकि रेलवे जिस सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में है और सीबीआई भी उसी एक ही हाथ में है, तो जो छुपाना है, जो फेलियर को छुपाना है, वो सीबीआई को यूज करके क्रेडिबिलिटी के साथ ये छुपाने का ये इरादा है।
So there is politics, there's a demand for CBI, but what is the ground situation looking like? Let's go now to Odisha in Balasore. My colleague Aditya Vaibhav has been reporting from day one about it. Aditya, good morning. What is the situation looking like? I want to know about the people who are still looking for their loved ones. Are the queues still long? Has there been a system put in place so that they can reach out and either claim compensation or at least help identify their loved ones who are missing or dead?
Well, exactly. As far as the situation on ground zero is concerned, of course, the situation is very pathetic. But then there are people who are coming here for getting proper inputs on their near and dear ones who were actually traveling on those trains on the particular fateful day. But then there has not been put in place any particular system wherein people can come and get things checked for sure. But then there are people who are coming, they are trying to reach out to railway officials and try to understand what actually happened and where are their near and dear ones. But then the question continues to remain that if at all a CBI inquiry is given and you can say recommended for by the railway board, and this is something that has been announced by the railway minister also, but then the question continues to remain that where will the people who are missing come from and where will the relatives of those people go and get inputs about.
I do have an added question. So the passenger trains have started to resume, at least on one of the lines. Are there near the station?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. As far as the railway station is concerned, the railway ministry was actually on its toes to ensure that everything falls into place and every, you can say, criteria is met to ensure that the operations are resumed. But then there are some more checks that are to be taken, and we have been given to understand that there was some issue related to the technical interlocking of the, you can say, railway tracks, which is to be bypassed now, and the railway authorities are working on it to ensure that things get into place.
Just on that, Aditya, about what's happening on the ground, and that there are people still looking for their loved ones while the restoration work is also on. It's been over 51 hours. There are tracks that have been restored and the trial runs are over. A section of passenger trains have started to resume functioning on these tracks. But the bigger question will be, who is accountable? Who will be punished? Who will have to pay for this? And will we ensure this is the last accident that we have seen? Think of at least 275 people and as many families who've lost their loved ones, many injured, many missing. There is a demand now of investigation from the CBI. Could that change? Could that actually fasten the process? Take a look at this special report on that.
जो भी दोषी पाया जाएगा उसको सख्त से सख्त सजा हो, उसे बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
A day after Prime Minister Modi vowed strict action against those responsible for the Odisha train tragedy, the Railway Board has recommended a CBI probe into the matter.
जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है और जो परिस्थितियां हैं उन सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है उस सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है।
Initial probe has revealed that one of the worst rail tragedies of India could have occurred due to a signalling interference.
हमें लगता है कि सिग्नलिंग में कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है, लेकिन ये प्राइमा फेसी कारण है और वो मेरी तरफ से गैर जिम्मेदाराना होगा अगर वो मैं पब्लिक करूँ, क्योंकि रेलवे एक इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स सिस्टम है जिसको कि अगर पूरी जांच किए बिना हम किसी भी निष्कर्ष पर पहुंच जाए, प्राइमा फेसी हमें पता है कि क्या हुआ है, लेकिन नहीं, प्राइमा फेसी है, आई विल नॉट शेयर इट, इट इज अ कॉन्फिडेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन।
Indian Railways has clarified that the Coromandel Express went into a wrong loop track at the interlocking point at the Bahanagar Bazaar station in Balasore. Railways pointed out that the electronic signalling system, despite having a 0.1% chance of failure, could have faced issues with the cables.
अक्सर देखेंगे आपकी कुछ काम चल रहा है, रोड बन रही है, कुछ हो रहा है, पेवमेंट बन रहा है, और अगर बिना उसने जानकारी के, बिना उचित परमिशन के वहां पे काम किया, पॉसिबल है कि केबल कट जाए या इस तरह की चीजों से प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है सिग्नलिंग में।
Railways clarified that the Kavach, indigenous anti-rail collision system, had no role in the mishap.
Even if the Kavach would have applied brakes on detecting that the route ahead is obstructed, for a train moving at 130 kmph, the braking distance is about 600 meters. So it went and it would have gone and hit a 100-meter obstruction.
Meanwhile, India Today has accessed a letter written by South Western Railway's Chief Operating Manager pointing out an instance of serious flaw in signalling system back in February, which was eerily similar to Balasore mishap. Then, a Sampark Kranti Express driver faced a near similar signal glitch but had managed to avoid crashing into a goods train. The official had warned that if the signal maintenance system was not corrected immediately, it could lead to a recurrence and serious accidents.
जो ऐसा ही हादसा होते होते बचा, उसके पश्चात की रिपोर्ट है। ये रिपोर्ट भी मैं आपको सर्कुलेट कर रहा हूं, हस्ताक्षर हैं इस पे साउथ वेस्टर्न रेलवे के एजीएम के। जब वो बता रहे हैं कि ये सिग्नलिंग जो इंटरलॉकिंग सिस्टम है इसमें खोट है, अगर जल्दी ही इस खोट को दूर नहीं किया जाए तो इस तरह के हादसे होते रहेंगे। 9 फरवरी को ये रिपोर्ट सर्कुलेट हुई रेलवे मिनिस्ट्री में, उसके पश्चात क्या कदम उठाए गए ये भी हम जानना चाहते हैं।
We've been told by the railway officials that there has been the driver ascertaining that he did see the green signal and that is why he moved forward. This is all part of the investigation which the railways is currently working on, but inside the war room monitoring goes on continuously, even several hours after the horrific Balasore accident has taken more than 250 lives. With Sanjeev in New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
Meanwhile, the restoration work is on, and remember, it will have to be restored soon because there would be a backlog of other trains and that functioning will have to resume of other trains as well. The trial run is over. Passenger trains, to an extent, have started to resume. Now, these are last evening's visuals where you can see that Vaishnaw, the railway minister, has been camping at the site for more than 50 hours now. But at one point, while speaking to the media persons, clearly overwhelmed, looking at the scale of the tragedy and the task and the restoration that he's at hand, he broke down and said that he'll do everything to ensure that those who can meet their family members with regard to whether it's mortal remains or the ones who've survived will be able to see them for one last time again. Trial run has got over. Movement of passenger trains has started on up and down lines. They are crossing the affected area as well, but at a low speed as a precautionary measure. Continuing his tirade against the BJP and Prime Minister, Rahul Gandhi, however, has highlighted how Congress mantris had quit their position when the tragedy unfolded, but it's not happening in the BJP government tenure, asserting how BJP ministers can never do the same, and he's been asking basically for Vaishnaw's resignation now.
अब तक 3 गाड़ियां जा चुकी है। टोटल रात में करीब 7 गाड़ियां प्लान्ड है और एकदम नॉर्मलाइजेशन की तरफ ले जाना है और बहुत ही संवेदना के साथ जिन परिवारों के मेंबर्स खो गए उनको किसी न किसी जल्दी से जल्दी उनके पास उनके परिवारजन पहुंचे, ये हमारा दायित्व अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है।
All of you came here by car, using your cars. Imagine if the only thing you did was look in the rear view mirror. And it's the same idea with the BJP, with the RSS, all of them. You listen to them. You listen to their ministers. You listen to the Prime Minister. You will never find them talking about the future. They will only talk about the past.
Currently, we are standing on the Bahananga railway station and the restoration works have completed. Let me show you that now the driver of this particularly train which set off his journey from Puri and now headed back to Kolkata to Shalimar. Now the green flag has been waved and the restoration work has been done, and both the lines, up and down line on those tracks, have been resumed. We can see the movements of passenger trains have started. Currently this is a Kolkata bound train which was coming from Puri, and now it is going at a very low speed as it was directed by the authority of Railway Board. That, remember, on Friday evening in a massive accident that took place in Odisha's Balasore and killing several passengers. We can see the passengers are moving on this train. Possibly it was a long wait for them, but as the deadline was set by the rail minister, but well before time of the deadline set by the rail minister, now the movements of trains on both the track have started.
Remember, meanwhile in Delhi, it was Jaya Verma Sinha, member of the Railway Board, who gave a presentation to the Prime Minister and to senior officials as well. And she spoke to my colleague Milan Sharma to help us understand what happened at the Odisha station and before that with regard to the 3-train collision tragedy.
Currently, ma'am, investigations are going on. But for a layman to understand what actually has occurred, where would you begin from?
I would like to share the map to show you where exactly this happened. This is a railway map which shows the track coming from south going to Kolkata. This is the direction from Chennai and Bangalore and Bhubaneswar, and the train goes like this via Kharagpur to Calcutta. This is the place where the accident took place, which is Bahanaga Bazaar. And if you see this is the station layout in a simple line diagram. And on that day, it is a 4-line station. It has 2 main lines and one up loop here and a down loop here.
Ma'am, what is known as a main line?
Main line is a train on which the train can go straight. It doesn't have any turns and bends, and since it is a straight track, the train can go at its maximum permitted speed.
And that day, this Coromandel Express was at what speed exactly?
It was at 128 kmph, which is its permitted within the permitted maximum permissible speed, which is 130 on this section. And the same thing for Yashwantpur. This was also traveling at 126. Its maximum is again 130.
So you're saying, ma'am, the 2 main lines are to let the trains pass without any obstruction, straight forward?
Yes, it's something like your highway, where the directions are separated. So this is your direction towards Chennai, and this is the direction towards Kolkata, and this we call upline and this we call downline at this particular station.
And there were these 2 loop lines. Now, what is the function of a loop line?
Loop line is an additional line which allows you to keep an extra train here and allow some other train to pass through the main line. Or it can also be that you keep a train here and pass another train like this.
This was India's tragedy, and a horrific one at that. But amid all of this, also remember the humanity that Indians showed. The first responders, the villagers, when they heard a loud collision thud and went rushing to help. This was before government assistance could reach, and they helped save many, many lives, rushing them to nearby hospitals or giving basic first aid. This special report for the locals who helped.
Overturned coaches, lifeless bodies, injured passengers all around. India's worst train tragedy in more than 2 decades struck Odisha on Friday. Amid blood and death all over, the residents of Balasore emerged as heroes. The people of this sprawling northern Odisha city emerged as the first respondent in a catastrophic tragedy. Hundreds rushed to the accident site immediately after the mishap.
बहुत जोर से आवाज हुआ, मैं उनके पास गया और बहुत आदमी मर चुके था, डेथ हो गया था बहुत आदमी का, और जिंदा भी था। जिंदा जो आदमी को एम्बुलेंस हॉस्पिटल भेजा, ठीक है, वो और ट्रैक्टर में हम लोग दोस्त थे, तो उनके एक बगी से बहुत लोगों मर गया था, वो 8 आदमी डेथ हो गया और 2 आदमी जिंदा था।
Using the faint flashlights of their mobile phones, the residents made their way into the badly mangled coaches. Pulling out injured, offering them first aid, rushing them to hospital.
जब इस तरह की स्थिति हो गई थी और अंदर लोग चीखते चिल्लाते हुए लोगों को सहायता के लिए बुला रहे थे, तब आप लोग अंदर गए कंपार्टमेंट के?
जी, कंपार्टमेंट के अंदर गए। अपन 8 लोग थे। अपन 8 लोग थे। अब जो मृत हो चुके थे उनसे तो अपनी निगाह पे
स्पॉट डेड लोग मिले।
स्पॉट डेड लोग भी मिले, कुछ गंभीर रूप से घायल थे।
किस तरह का चोट?
ज्यादा चोटें सर में आई थी, किसी का धड़ अलग था, किसी का सर अलग था, किसी का शरीर सेमी पार्ट ही गायब था, किसी का पैर ही गायब था। इस तरह के
भयंकर दृश्य,
छत बिछत सौ हम लोगों ने देखा वहाँ पे।
तो आप लोगों ने अपने हाथों से निकाला शवों को?
जी, हाथों से निकाला।
और जो लोग जिंदा बच के मतलब ज्यादा जख्मी नहीं हुए थे, उनको भी आप लोगों ने हेल्प किया निकलने में?
जी, उनको हम लोगों ने बस स्टैंड तक भेजा अपनी टीम की मदद से।
Providing a helping hand to cops and fire brigade officials and eventually disaster response teams. Hundreds of Balasore's brave hearts stayed put throughout the night and on Saturday aiding the rescue operation and helping rail officials.
एपे का मालगाड़ी बहुत मालगाड़ी था,
यानी 4 नंबर ट्रैक जो है वहाँ पर एक मालगाड़ी था।
और 5 नंबर में
उस तरफ यानी बिल्कुल आउटर सेक्शन में
तार पछ नांगटा पछपट अछि जणे
यहाँ से और एक ट्रेन गुजर गया
जणे माने ये नीलाबाना जो वो था और यहाँ पे वो ट्रेन आया एक्सप्रेस ये भाग गया और वो ट्रेन आया हम इधर से बात करते कथा था हम 2 जन हमर लेबर में बसचु वो ट्रेन आया जो मालगाड़ी ना तो ऊपर डायरेक्ट चढ़ गया
Offering food and water to stranded passengers, rescue workers and officials amid sweltering summer heat. Thanks to these good Samaritans, hundreds of lives were saved from the mangled wreckage of the bogies. Hundreds of Balasore and other cities of Odisha residents flocked to blood banks and hospitals to donate blood for the accident victims. Long queues were seen outside blood banks as people patiently waited for their turn. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the courage and compassion of the people and their selfless rescue work, saying thank you Odisha.
मैं उड़ीसा सरकार का भी यहाँ के प्रशासन के सभी अधिकारियों का जिन्होंने जिस तरह से इस परिस्थिति में अपने पास जो भी संसाधन थे लोगों की मदद करने का प्रयास किया मैं यहाँ के नागरिकों का भी हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूँ.
In the darkest moment, the people of Balasore shined with exemplary courage and selflessness. With Indrajit Kundu and Satyajit in Balasore, Odisha, Bureau Report, India Today.
And importantly, of course, all eyes will be to hold someone accountable and to ensure justice is given to those, even though no compensation, no words of condolences can never, ever be enough. I'm heading into a very short break. When I return, I take you to USA. Rahul Gandhi's all guns blazing. He is charging at the Modi government and has mentioned the Odisha train tragedy and more. I get you the latest on that from the USA, from New York now, after a short break.
गेल जी, आपसे बात करते हुए हम बहुत प्राउड हैं, बहुत गर्व आता है। पहले तो हमारा कंग्रेचुलेशंस कि आपने जो रेस्क्यू किया एवरेस्ट के पीक के सामने, ये बहुत ही बेहतरीन रेस्क्यू था। गेल जी, ये डिटेल में बताइए कि जब आप क्लाइंब कर रहे थे तो आपने क्या देखा और आपने कैसे डिसीजन लिया कि आप ये रेस्क्यू करेंगे?
हिंदी में,
हिंदी या इंग्लिश में बोलिए। जी जी जी
ठीक है। Just when I was like doing the summit with my clients and I was like on the way to balcony, just I met him like he's unconscious because he was like about to die, and so that's why I need to save his life, and that's why just my summit fund just I quit and I set it down my client down to C4 and just I decided to save his life because save the life is like bigger than the summit, so that's why I decided to save his life.
Gelji, it took you 6 hours, you know, from the time you got that Malaysian climber till you came down about 600 meters. It took you 6 hours. You wrapped him up in a heat blanket. How difficult was it to carry him on your back and climb down for 600 meters?
No, it's like from balcony. I did not wrap there because when I wrap him, he's from after the camp 4, after South Pole. Before when I met him, I did not wrap him because I don't have nothing to like for wrap. Balcony is above the 8,000 meter, like 8,400 meters. So that's where we can't find that kind of gear. Just when I met him, I bring down like how's his condition. I bring just like that. He was like about to die, but he was like to temperature support. He oxygen space, like he was shaking. So That's why I carry down to him like with the rocky part and no possible to drag him down. So that's why I carry down to him like 3-4 hours and 3-4 hours, like 3 hours something. I drag him down on the snow on the rods. We carry back.
News coming in from Tamil Nadu. There could have been an accident again, but it has been averted in Tamil Nadu with the checks that were being done right on. We've been told that this was a big train tragedy. The cracks at the base of coach S3 of the train in Tamil Nadu. Passengers have been shifted to an adjacent coach. Train immediately stopped and new coach has been added. The train started a journey after an hour's delay. So there were actually in just one compartment, one coach. There was underneath found some cracks at the base of the coach. This was the coach S3 of a train in Tamil Nadu. I want to quickly go across to Shilpa Nair for the latest on that. Shilpa, of course, right now all authorities will be extra vigilant about the condition, the quality of the not only the tracks but of the trains as well. What did you pick up here as per details?
Well, Pooja, the timely observation by the railway officials averted the possibility of any accident because this visuals that you see on the screens are, it's a crack that was noticed at the base of the S3 coach of the Shalimar-Chennai Express train. The railway staff at the Sengote railway station had noticed this particular crack. It happened last evening, around 3:34 is when the train reached the Sengote railway station, and that is when the railway officials observed this crack at the base of the S3 coach. And after this was informed to the higher officials, the coach was of course removed from the train immediately, and all the passengers who were travelling in S3 coach were shifted to an adjacent coach. And after a delay of over an hour, the train left from the Sengote station and the new coach was added to the train at Madurai. This is the information that we're getting. This, of course, happened last evening. But nevertheless, the timely intervention and the timely observation by the railway officials, of course, have averted
a precautionary measure. Any day better than the tragedy that we have seen in Odisha. Very important that there was some base of the coach that had cracks. It was immediately noticed. It was averted. There was an hour delay in the train to resume its functioning, but the coach was added. It was changed. Passengers were shifted, and a smooth, peaceful journey for now. Thank you so much, Shilpa Nair, for the latest on that. Disturbing news coming in from the NCR region of Gurugram. There were some prayers being organized by members of the Christian community, and the Hindu right-wing groups opposed those prayers in Gurugram. After opposing, remember earlier, there was opposition for some namaz prayers as well. Now the Hindu right-wing groups have struck again. We're being told about 25 men created commotion and ruckus at one of the missionaries where the prayers were being organized of the Christian community. As you can see, caught on camera were the Hindu right-wing group clashing with members of the Christian community wearing a saffron scarf as well. We don't have details yet what exactly unfolded, but we can say that they are objecting to the prayers of the Christian community that are taking place in what looks like a missionary, but we'll try and get more details on that. And what gave the right to the group here wearing these scarves to start objecting, vandalizing, picking up chairs inside that hall? Is this a registered area? Unless and until they are taking law into their own hands and encroaching the area, there should have been cops called if at all there was any issue. How can these men take law into their own hands itself? But we are being told this is Gurugram, where the Hindu right-wing men wearing these scarves went on and objected to some of the prayers that were being organized. Shreya Chatterjee with the latest on that joining me. Yes, Shreya, go ahead. What are the details you have? What exactly happened?
So, Pooja, the incident is being reported from Gurugram to Dollar village. Now, what we are understanding that this is a Catholic church where in all likelihood a Sunday morning prayer was organized. And in between that prayer ceremony, allegedly 25 men claiming that they were from the Hindu Sena, they went and asked the priest to immediately stop the prayer ceremony. There was a confrontation, and allegedly, as per the complaint of the father, the priest in the Catholic Church, he was also slapped by the men. Now, medical examination, as per police sources, has been found, but there's an FIR that has been registered under sections 147 of writing, 149 of unlawful assembly, 295, 8323 and 506. The police is probing the case as of now, but this incident was reported yesterday, Pooja, is what is being told by the Gurugram police.
So if there was anything illegal, an encroachment, cops should have been called, administration should have been contacted. Nobody should be allowed to take law into their own hands, and definitely not these men who think they can go and barge into any space. It's a developing story. We'll try and get more details on what exactly could have happened here, and our reporters on the ground, Shreya, will be getting us all the latest. Shreya, thank you very much for now. Let me now take you to the United States of America. On the 3-city tour is Rahul Gandhi right now in New York. And as he has been in the past 2 cities, it was all guns blazing against Modi government. And now added was the Odisha train tragedy where he targeted Modi government again. He's been, remember, on a 10-day US tour and has specifically met Indian-American diaspora. This time on Sunday was at the Javits Center. Addressing the diaspora, Rahul Gandhi made a sharp attack at the BJP and Prime Minister Modi and compared their ideology to Gandhi's assassin, Nathuram Godse. Rahul Gandhi, in a scathing remark, asserted how in India there's a fight going on between 2 ideologies, and that fight is more like that between Mahatma Gandhi and Godse. Rahul Gandhi's trip to the USA comes before Prime Minister Narendra Modi's official state visit barely in the next few days and begins on 22nd June. Rahul Gandhi is, remember, now all set to address a massive rally about to conclude with his US visit, that is at New York's Madison Square Garden.
A fight between 2 ideologies, one that we represent, and the other, of course, that the BJP and the RSS represents. I think the simplest way to describe this fight is on one side you have Mahatma Gandhi and on the other side you have Nathuram Godse. So that is the fight. Gandhiji was forward-looking, modern, open-minded. Godse only spoke of the past. BJP and the RSS are incapable of looking at the future.
In Karnataka, meanwhile, a huge controversy has broken out over the slaughter of cows. The minister in the new Congress government in Karnataka has rigged up this huge debate, and he's Animal Husbandry Minister K. Venkatesh. He has said that there is nothing wrong in slaughtering cows in the state. K. Venkatesh has said if one can slaughter buffaloes and bulls, there's nothing wrong in slaughtering cows as well. He stated that farmers are facing a tough time maintaining aged cattle and disposing of the dead. The statement comes at a time when the new Congress government is set to revoke the blanket ban on slaughter of cattle in the state that they are mulling for. The ban has been imposed by the previous BJP government in 2021. But the BJP and the Hindu right-wing groups are now up in arms expectedly at K. Venkatesh's remark. Former Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai said the ban was introduced to prevent illegal slaughterhouses in the state, warning that large-scale smuggling of cows and mass slaughtering factories in the state would rise if the bill was revoked. Remember, cow, among many sections of the Hindu community, is worshipped as a goddess, as a holy mother as well.
This only shows the devious anti-Hindu, anti-India agenda that Karnataka has, that the Congress in Karnataka has. You can see the pattern that the Congress is taking by aligning with everything anti-Hindu and most of the times with shady anti-India organizations and fringe groups.
Cow slaughter issue, which was seriously implemented, and it is not only by BJP government, even the act was there even in Congress government. Olden days this act was there. So they want to make changes to help someone or to please someone.
कांग्रेस के नेताओं को एक बार स्पष्ट कर देना चाहिए कि हम तो गौमांस खाएंगे ही, हम तो गौमांस बांटेंगे ही, ये छुप छुप के बाहर हिंदू समाज पर कब तक करते रहोगे? और हिंदू समाज कैसे सहन करेगा? कभी गौ भक्त तो कभी गौ भक्षक। कर्नाटक का हिंदू समाज चुप नहीं बैठेगा।
इस मास्क के सवाल ने देश में सांप्रदायिकता की लहर को तेज किया है और एक नई व्यवस्था दे दी है, वो है मॉब लिंचिंग की। भारत सरकार मास्क के निर्यात पर बहुत ही ध्यान दे रही है। लगभग 45,000 करोड़ से अधिक की विदेशी मुद्रा मास्क के निर्यात से कमाई जा रही है और इस मास्क के निर्यात के काम में सबसे ज्यादा अगर कोई नंबर 1 पर है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी और आरएसएस से संबंधित नेता हैं और उन्हीं की फैक्ट्रियां हैं जहां सबसे ज्यादा मुनाफा कमाया जा रहा है।
So this definitely is going to be a very sensitive issue, remember, because cow is worshipped by many Hindus specifically as a goddess or a mother, and they do not consume beef specifically for this reason. Let's now move on. DK Shiv Kumar for the first time has spoken up and breaking his silence about missing on the Chief Minister's chair. This is important because this is for the first time that while he accepted the Deputy Chief Minister's position, weeks after Congress won the Karnataka Assembly polls, it took 4 days for the Congress High Command in Delhi to break the deadlock and decide. Speaking on the same, DK Shiv Kumar, while addressing a gathering, said he gave up on his ambition to be the Chief Minister after Congress High Command, including Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, gave him some advice and revealed that he had to bow down to the High Command for now. He further told the people of Karnataka to keep patience.
ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಷ್ಟು ಓಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರಿ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಪು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು, ಸೋನಿಯಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು, ಖರ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ನನಗೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಹಿತವಚನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಮಾತಿಗೆ, ಹಿರಿಯರ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ತಲೆ ಬಾಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ ದೇವರು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಆಸೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆಸೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಹುಸಿ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇರೋಣ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
We are getting latest visuals from Balasore, from Odisha. It's been over 51 hours now, remember, and the Railways Minister Vaishnaw has been there for the restoration work. But here's what's happening. Remember, the functioning will have to resume. There are trains that will be moving on, and now we have details coming in that the train tracks are now fully functional. At a low speed, trains are moving. Even the Vande-Bharat Express is operating on the Balasore tracks. My colleague Ritik Mondal is sending us this ground report. So we'll continue to bring you the latest on that. Remember, passenger trains on a low speed, Vande Bharat as well, they are trying to operate and make all of this fully functional. But eventually the big question will be, someone has to be set accountable. This cannot be a tragedy that we can or should forget easily. Heading into a very short break. Stay tuned, lots more on the other side.
Big boost to India's vision of emerging as a manufacturing powerhouse. Taiwanese giant Foxconn will start manufacturing iPhones in Bengaluru by 2024. While Foxconn's expansion is undoubtedly advantage to India, an embarrassing fight for credit has erupted in Karnataka. The Siddaramaiah government is trumpeting Foxconn investment, calling it a huge boost for Karnataka.
BJP is not aware of the origins of manufacturing of iPhones in India. Probably they should look into their own government orders, and they should then they will realize that the seeds of it was sown when I was the IT-BT minister, when Vaishnaw came and started their first manufacturing plant here in Karnataka. Either ways, if they really want to take credit, they can. Ultimately, Karnataka has win.
See, this is like when the Mars orbiter was put in space. The Prime Minister was not even the Prime Minister for a few days, and we saw how he took credit. for the when he himself, instead of giving the credit to the scientists, he himself went to Sri Harikota. So, government is always in continuum. We have to do good work. That is what is important.
The Karnataka BJP and its leaders has hit back, claiming it was Basavaraj Bommai's win.
What they have not done, how can they claim credit? It's all been done by our government, and that time they were making a mockery, they were making all kind of statements, and they criticized us. So that is what is indicating now itself. In future, next 5 years, we are not going to do anything. Now we will try to gain credit for what has been done by the previous government.
On March 3rd, then Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai had met the Foxconn chairman. He too announced that an agreement had been signed with the iPhone maker.
They had shown interest. They had been visiting so many times. Then ultimately they saw the land, their chairman came, saw the land. And then they wanted some policy change we brought in. They saw our policies, they accepted it. And they had their own survey as far as high-tech human manpower and all. And we signed a LOI.
The 13,600 crore rupees Foxconn project is expected to create 50,000 jobs. Foxconn's expansion in India will increase India's participation in the global electronics market and give a push to the Prime Minister's flagship Atmanirbhar Bharat mission in the cutting-edge sector. While iPhone production tripled in India last year, it still accounts for only 7% of Apple's total iPhone output. Bureau Report, India Today.
Is there enough understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times, only on India Today.
The debate over the mRNA COVID vaccines is back in how? After Hollywood actor Jamie Foxx, who's been unwell for a while now, there is speculation and debate again be emerging if the vaccines are safe, if they are not. My colleague Sneha Mordani tries to put it in perspective because remember, the vaccines have had scientific evidence. But why is then there a debate raging on it? Take a look at this story.
Are COVID vaccines safe? The answer to that question is not a straight yes or no. Several studies have indicated they are. Several have shown they aren't. How many of these studies are industry supported? And how many of these are supported by anti-mRNA vaccine lobby, for example? There really is a lot more than meets the eye when it comes to these claims and counterclaims. Even as Big Pharma continues to dodge questions relating to the vaccine.
Mr. Borla, can I ask you, when did you know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission? How long did you know that without saying it publicly?
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Answer that question. I mean, we now know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission, but why did you keep it secret? You said it was 100% effective, then 90%, then 80%, then 70%. But we now know that the vaccines do not stop transmission. Why did you keep that secret?
Have a nice day.
There are concerns and controversies. In the center of the newest controversy this time is Hollywood actor Jamie Foxx and the vaccine in question, an mRNA vaccine. While Foxx has been unwell for months now, speculations have been rife about the COVID-19 vaccine being the reason behind his illness. A lot of this is unfounded, say experts. A claim has been made by a gossip columnist, AJ Benza, who made this allegation on the podcast Ask Dr. Crew in the month of May, citing an unnamed source.
I had somebody in the room who let me know
that Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the shot. He did not want the shot, but the movie he was on, he was pressured to get it.
In Western nations, it's not uncommon to see gossip magazines make ill-founded claims about the health status of celebrities. Well-known actor Jamie Foxx is the latest in the series. Multiple sources have cited conflicting reports about his health condition. What we do know is that his daughter had said that he had suffered a medical complication and that he had recovered afterwards. We do not have any credible information about what this complication was.
Experts say some complications, including strokes and clots, are expected, though extremely rare. Others say it is common and these vaccines must be suspended. Recently, MIT professor Retsev Levy also took to Twitter to share the harm mRNA vaccines are causing in young people.
The analysis of the EMS calls and diagnosis data from 2019 throughout the first half of 2021 revealed some very concerning signals. We detected an increase of 25% in the calls with cardiac arrest diagnosis among ages 16 to 39 in the first half of 2021, exactly when the vaccination campaign in Israel was launched.
Many say the risk of a stroke is more from the infection and not from the vaccine.
Multiple studies have shown that the chance of getting a stroke after a vaccine is no greater than not receiving a vaccine. That being said, COVID in itself is a risk factor for heart attacks and stroke. That's because it has an effect on the endothelial lining or the inner lining of our blood vessels. As far as Indian vaccines are concerned, yes, like with any other medical products, they do have complications that are extremely rare.
More data and peer-reviewed data backed and supported by the World Health Organization to then say conclusively that vaccines are unsafe is awaited, particularly mRNA vaccines, given the concerns around it. Many say have an inquiry, until then suspend the use, at least address the concerns. In New Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today.
On that note, I'm signing off for now, but stay tuned to India Today Television. I'll have a great day coming up. Big political stories coming up after a very short break. Thank you very much for watching.
Other opposition parties, including the Shiv Sena Udhav faction, RJD and PDP, struck a different note, demanding the railway minister's resignation.
3 ट्रेनें टकरा गई, ये मियर नेग्लिजेंस है, बेफिक्री है। तो जिम्मेदारी किसकी है? जिम्मेदारी रेलवे मंत्रालय की है। लेकिन इस सरकार में इतना बड़ा हादसा होने के बावजूद मंत्री जिम्मेदारी नहीं लेता है। हाँ, नैतिकता के आधार पर मंत्री ने इस्तीफा देना चाहिए।
जिस तरह से इन लोगों ने लापरवाही बरता, सावधानी नहीं बरता और इतना बड़ा संख्या में कैजुअलिटी हो गई है, जो खबर है लगभग 800 लोगों की मृत्यु हुई है, बेसी भी होने की काफ़ी संभावना है। इसकी उच्च स्तरीय जांच कराया जाए और पूरा जो दोषी लोग हैं इसमें जिसकी संलिप्तता है उस पर कार्रवाई करना चाहिए।
I can call it only as a crime, not as a tragedy. It is a tragedy committed by the government. The only people responsible for this killing is the government of India. Taking that responsibility, the moral responsibility and the political responsibility, I demand the railway minister should resign immediately.
The BJP on its part has refused to be part of the political showdown.
They are doing their job, but they are trying to politicize it. I think it is not the right time to politicize this kind of incident. Central government, especially the railway department, is taking care of all these things. And we also thank the Naveen Patnaik ji. His government has done an excellent job.
The railway minister has announced a special committee to investigate the reasons behind the tragedy. But will accountability be fixed?
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Pranav Salkar saw his mother struggle to get water after coming back from work every day. The nearest source of water was half a kilometer away. Pained by this sight, the 14-year-old took matters into his own hands. He started digging a well, and in 4 days, he struck gold.
त्याला मी एक सूचना दिली होती काही ते खून कण थोडंसं पाणी लागतो का आपण बघूया. नंतर आम्ही मग कामावर जायची सुरुवात केली. मग त्यांनी मनापासून सुरुवात केली खोदायला. त्याच्याकरता त्यांनी खोदता 3-4 दिवस त्यांनी लावले आणि पाणी लागलं.
Pranav's parents speak fondly of their son's efforts. They recount how he had made a ladder to dig out soil from the pit.
आम्ही मजुरी करतो आणि संध्याकाळी येतो काम करून. मला त्रास होतो म्हणून माझ्या मुलाने विहीर खोदली 4 दिवसात. मला आनंद वाटतो.
ते पाणी तुम्ही वापरता का?
त्या पाणी आम्ही वापरतो.
Kelve village in Palghar gets piped water thrice a week. To Pranav's parents, who work as labourers, the well is a relief. And it goes without saying, Pranav is now a hero in his village. Bureau Report, India Today.
very good morning. You're watching India Today TV. This is India's Agenda. I'm Sneha Mordani. A quick check of the headlines in this edition first. Southeast Railway account books accessed. No spending on anti-collision systems in the last 3 years. Out of 940 crores sanctioned, no money was spent. As Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw calls for a CBI probe in the train tragedy. Restoration of train tracks completed within 51 hours. 2 days ahead of the deadline, Rail Minister gets emotional.
परिवारों के मेंबर्स खो गए, उनको किसी न किसी जल्दी से जल्दी उनके पास उनके परिवारजन पहुंचे, ये हमारा दायित्व है.
Rahul Gandhi attacks the Modi government in New York over Odisha train tragedy. Says Modi driving the car of India looking at the rear view mirror. Congress Mantri resigned last time a tragedy happened, is what he says.
Congress party did not get up and say, now it is the fault of the British that the train has crashed. No, the Congress minister, I remember, said, it is my responsibility the train has crashed, I am resigning.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar orders probe into the bridge collapse. BJP attacks the Nitish Kumar government over the collapse as criminal collusion of Neta Babu builder. A year after hijab, halal and azan, Congress vows to revoke the cow slaughter ban, says no wrong in slaughtering cows. Some news just coming in this morning. Within 51 hours of the biggest train tragedy that India has ever seen, Balasore train tracks is fully functional. Vande Bharat operates on the Balasore tracks. Rail Mantri was at the forefront of the relief operations. This track, as you can see on your screen right now, is functional, and the Vande Bharat Express is using this particular track.
This is the first ever Vande Bharat Express cross the accident site of Balasore's Bahananga station. Since this accident took place, you can see currently this Vande Bharat Express is crossing the Bahananga, passing through this Bahananga railway station on the up track. The track which was massively damaged due to the massive impact of the accident. As the railway authorities is concerned, we have been told that the train drivers have been guided to take trains at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour through this particular section where the accident took place on Friday evening. You can see now this train is passing through this this particular Bahananga rail station. Now it will it will get its speed back when it is heading towards Puri. So we can see since this morning several passengers train, be it Vande Bharat Express or the Coromandel Express, which collided with a goods train on Friday evening, are back on track at in Odisha's Balasore. With camera person Shamsundar Ghosh, this is Ritik for India Today.
Let's get straight to some news just coming in. Lloyd Austin, United States Secretary of Defense, and Rajnath Singh, India's Defense Minister, at the Manekshaw Center in Delhi. These are pictures on your screen live right now. This is, in fact, the Guard of Honor for the U.S. Defense Secretary. On your screens, Rajnath Singh, the Defense Minister, and also Lloyd Austin, the United States Secretary of Defense. These pictures are in fact coming in from the Manekshaw Center in Delhi. Welcome for U.S. Defense Secretary that you see on your screens right now. Let's go straight to these pictures coming in from Manekshaw Center in Delhi.
India and US are collaborating in the sense that many jets which are being made in India.
US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin arrives in India. He is on a 2-day visit. This comes 2 weeks ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to Washington as well.
There are a lot of innovations that are taking place in India also.
This, of course, is to explore ways to further strengthen bilateral defense cooperation between India and America, especially in areas of transfer of critical technologies for co-development of military hardware. Abhishek Bhalla is getting us more details on that. This is a significant trip. It comes just 2 weeks ahead of the Prime Minister's visit. What really is expected, Abhishek?
Well, a very important visit of the U.S. Defense Secretary. He will meet his Indian counterpart, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, and a lot is on the agenda. Of course, defense cooperation between the two countries is something which is taken extremely seriously. The two countries are also, still deciding on a big deal to jointly manufacture fighter jet engines. So that is something that is likely to come up during the meeting, and is likely to be one of the top agendas. They are likely to discuss the General Electric's proposal to share technology with India for fighter jet engines, and also the big plan that New Delhi has to procure 30 MQ-9B armed drones. This is a deal worth $3 billion that has been in the pipeline for some time, but no forward movement has happened. So these are some of the key areas that are likely to come up. Obviously, some discussion on Chinese aggressive maneuvers is also likely to come up. So a range of issues that the two defense ministers are likely to discuss.
Also, India has been very keenly looking at manufacturing of jet engines in the country under the framework of technology transfer to power its fighter aircraft. This is something that India is expecting from the US. Abhishek.
That's right. This is a joint manufacturing plan between India's Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and GE in US. It's still at an initial stage, but if some forward movement can happen during this meet, and if it can set the stage for a larger discussion once the Prime Minister goes to the US, then this will be a big deal, because this will make sure that India's mantra of self-reliance, make in India, takes a huge leap if this were to happen. If joint manufacturing of fighter jets between the two countries can happen, and if manufacturing units can be set up within India, this will be a big breakthrough as far as Make in India is concerned.
How is China's aggressive behavior, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, really going to play out as far as talks and discussions between Singh and Austin is concerned? Abhishek?
Well, China's aggressive behavior in the Indo-Pacific, as well as the line of actual control, is something that has been talked about by the U.S. Ministry of Defense several times. Ways to combat this threat is something that the U.S. has taken up. And yes, this is likely to be discussed in the bilateral that will take place between the two U.S. Defense Secretary as well as Defense Minister Rajnath Singh.
All right. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has arrived in India on a 2-day visit to explore ways to further strengthen bilateral defense cooperation, and that's what Abhishek, in fact, is telling us about. This is in the area of transfer of critical technologies for co-development of military hardware. As far as the 2 days are concerned, Abhishek, take us through the details of the itinerary.
Well, the U.S. Secretary of Defense arrived last evening, and today he will be meeting the Defense Minister. So it's a short visit that he has in the country, where he will discuss several issues with the Defense Minister of India. In fact, defense partnership is something that the US wants to take forward, and they are looking at advancing this defense partnership between the two countries, and every aspect of this defense cooperation and partnership that the two countries have, planned will be taken up during this visit.
All right, details that Abhishek is getting us is of the US Defense Secretary who is on a 2-day visit to India. These are pictures on your screen of the Guard of Honor, and this is crucial just before Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the US. He is going to be in Washington precisely in 2 weeks from now.
आपके निरीक्षण के लिए अग्रत
Pictures on your screen, Guard of Honor, ceremonial welcome for the US Defense Secretary who's here in India for 2 days. These are pictures coming in from Delhi's Manekshaw Center. Lord Austin meeting Defense Minister Rajnath Singh to explore further strengthening of bilateral defense cooperation between India and the US. Interesting and important at the same time, given that this comes at a time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Washington in just about 2 weeks from now. These are areas of transfer of critical technologies for co-development of military hardware that both countries are exploring. Abhishek, in fact, continues to be with us. Abhishek, what's also interesting are the recent statements that have come in from the US Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, who in fact in a summit spoke about the fact that Washington isn't going to stand for China bullying US allies, and clearly I think the message is clear who the ally at this point in time is, isn't it?
About the innovations and collaborations by both the countries, and they will also be discussing the strategic ties, the military ties between both the nations, and how Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be holding very important meetings in the United States in his visit, which starts.
Secretary Austin's trip comes just 2 weeks ahead of Prime Minister Modi's state visit to Washington, during which the two sides are expected to unveil initiatives to expand the India-US global strategic partnership.
Also on
The Defence Secretary is in India on a two-day visit to explore ways to further strengthen bilateral defence cooperation. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Mr. Austin are set to discuss in the talks the General Electric's proposal to share technology with India for fighter jet engines, and New Delhi's plan to procure 30 MQ-9B armed drones at a cost of over $3 billion from the US defense major General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, besides other issues, is what we know. India, of course, has been looking at manufacturing of jet engines in the country under the framework of technology transfer to power its fighter aircraft. China's aggressive behavior also in the Indo-Pacific is expected to figure in the discussions between Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. This, of course, is Secretary Austin's second visit to India. His previous trip was in the year 2021. Two countries, of course, have in the past as well inked key defense and security pacts over the last few years, including the Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement in 2016. Abhishek is there with us, back with us, in fact, getting us more details. Abhishek, in fact, we were talking about the fact that undoubtedly China's aggressive behavior in this region, in the Indo-Pacific, as well as the line of actual control, is possibly going to figure in the discussions today.
That's right. This is something that the US has been extremely vocal about, talking about China's aggressive maneuvers in the Indo-Pacific, the South China Sea. Also, a lot of their reports, in fact, have mentioned the line of actual control. It's also mentioned how India has resisted to the Chinese aggression. So definitely some aspect of the discussion could touch upon on the Chinese behavior and their aggression. This is something that the US has been talking about. But at the same time, as far as India is concerned, India has made it very clear that any battle that India has to fight, it has to fight on its own. They will not be expecting a third party to sort of come and help India. This is something that the service chiefs have said on several occasions. So India's stand is clear that yes, defense cooperation is something that India is always welcomes. But if it's our internal problems at the borders, that's something that India has to deal with on its own.
Abhishek, I'm going to thank you for the moment for getting us those details, Abhishek Bhalla, with that detailed report on what really is expected as far as talks between India's Defense Secretary and India's Defense Minister and US Defense Secretary is concerned today. With that, it's time for a quick commercial break. Here on the other side, as the Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw calls for a CBI probe in the train tragedy. We're getting you details of what next as far as the probe is concerned, just on the other side of this break.
Summers are devastating for stray animals. The scorching heat wave means animals living on the street struggle for water. Karma Foundation is on a mission to make life easy for stray animals.
This water bowl challenge is also one of such initiatives where we know during the scorching heats of summer has to provide the basic requirement for the health of the pet, which is water, and hence we are actually donating the water bowls.
These water bowls are a big relief for stray animals living under the open sky in sweltering weather. Karma Foundation has requested people to join their movement by placing a bowl of water outside their home or workplace. Bureau Report, India Today.
Some news just coming in. The station master on duty, SB Mohanty, at the mishap site has now been shunted. The current station master says there is no fault of Mohanty. Mohanty was on duty, but he is not at fault. Patnaik says 10 passenger trains crossed that day. The station master in question on duty on that fateful day when 3 trains collided has now been shunted, is what we've been given to understand. However, the current station master says that it wasn't really his fault. Listen in.
एसपी महाती अभी गया है, खुर्दा में गया है। हैं? उसका इंक्वायरी चल रहा है।
खुर्दा में क्या ड्यूटी परफॉर्म कर?
इंक्वायरी चलने के बाद सब पता चल जाएगा आपको। मैं यार ज्यादा कुछ बोल नहीं सकेगा। कल से चल रहा है।
उनकी गलती है क्या?
ना, उसका गलती कुछ नहीं है। सुनिए, गलती किसका होगा वो बाद में पता चलेगा।
Well, the station master on duty has been shunted and the current one who has replaced him says there is no fault of the person who was shunted. This comes at a time when questions are being asked about who should be held responsible for that collision of 3 trains that cost so many lives and left over 1,000 people injured. What we know is that the station master on duty, SB Mohanty, this was at the mishap site, has now been shunted. The station master who's replaced him says that there was no fault of the outgoing station master. Says Mohanty was on duty, but he is not at fault. Patnaik is the current station master and says that 10 passenger trains crossed that day. Aditya Vaibhav is getting us more details on that story. On what grounds has the station master been shunted? Because the current station master says a reason to be blamed. Aditya.
Well, exactly. As far as the investigation and the accountability is concerned, of course, the railway authorities are trying to ensure that every I is dot and every T is crossed. But then there are actions to be taken because there are passengers who actually lost their lives categorically in the mishap that took place near Bahanaga Bazar railway station. But then the railway authorities have simultaneously also ensured that the operations of the trains on this particular section continues and starts by now, and we've been given to understand that all the procedures and all the responsibilities have been discharged by the railway authorities before actually allowing trains to pass on this particular section, which actually saw actions a couple of days back wherein close to 300 people technically lost their lives. But then railway authorities are trying to ensure that this particular repetition never happens, and this is the reason why the crackdown is being taken place, and that even the Prime Minister categorically claimed that there will not be any exception to this entire incident, and those who will be found guilty for negligence, or you can say any other sabotage even, because the railway board has technically recommended this for a CBI inquiry, so there could be a sabotage angle as well. So this is something that the railway authorities have been pushed into taking actions, and the actions are now starting now, And I believe, or you can say that this is what we have been given to understand, that more action will be taken and more accountability will be fixed. Back to you, Shreya.
Thanking you for the moment, for getting us up to speed with that, Aditya Weber from the accident site, getting us all the details. Meanwhile, the Railway Board has now recommended a CBI probe in the Odisha train mishap. This after the Rail Mantri said that the root cause of this accident could have been identified. The Railways Board sought a CBI inquiry into the horrific 3-train collision, calling it a possible case of sabotage. The agency has earlier investigated such cases. Meanwhile, politics continues to erupt in the matter. Launching a scathing attack, TMC has called the CBI inquiry nothing but a gimmick to divert people's attention from the tragedy.
इस विषय में पॉइंट मशीन की बात है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंटरलॉकिंग की बात है। इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंटरलॉकिंग में जो चेंज किया जिसके कारण ये दुर्घटना हुई, जिसने भी किया, जो भी इसके कारण है, वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन से निकलेगा। जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है और जो परिस्थितियां हैं, उन सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है, उस सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है। जिस तत्परता के साथ प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने काम करने के आदेश दिए थे, पूरी टीम ने उसी तत्परता के साथ काम करके एक प्रॉपर सिस्टम से दोनों की दोनों पटरियों को रिस्टोर कर दिया है और दुर्घटना के, इस भयानक दुर्घटना के 51 घंटे के अंदर अंदर वापस ट्रेन का मूवमेंट नॉर्मलाइज हो गया है।
मोदी सरकार के कखनोई मानुष क्षमा करबे ना। সেই কবচ কোথায় গেল? মেক ইন ইন্ডিয়া আজকে হয়ে গেল ডিজাস্টার ইন্ডিয়া। কবচ শুধু মোদি সরকার পড়ে রয়েছে।
ये जो रेल के हादसा पर सीबीआई ऑर्डर का बात हो रहा है, ये एक आई वॉश है, क्योंकि रेलवे जिस सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में है और सीबीआई भी उसी एक ही हाथ में है, तो जो छुपाना है, जो फेलियर को छुपाना है, वो सीबीआई को यूज करके क्रेडिबिलिटी के साथ ये छुपाने का ये इरादा है।
Meanwhile, India today has accessed the pink books of the Southeast Railway Zone that shows zero expenditure done on the train collision systems in the last 3 years or so. Data accessed by us shows how budget was allocated but never was really spent. Let's talk about the money now. 780 crores for the year 2020-21. Zero money spent this particular year. Sanctioned rupees 162 crores for 2021-2022. Of course, no money was spent as our information indicates. Also, data which we have up until last year in the month of March 2022 for the Southeast Railway Zone also in fact indicates that just no money was spent. Heart-wrenching visuals of devastated families have come to the fore from Balasore. Many stood in long queues to identify dead bodies of loved ones. Several are still trying to locate their friends and family members who continue to remain missing post India's deadliest train crash. Let's take a look at this detailed report.
डेड बॉडी है अभी तक, निकलता नहीं कभी, अभी है।
Terrible suffering, shattered families, India numbed by the scale of tragedy. The deadly train tragedy in Odisha's Balasore ripped many families apart and left even more families devastated. One of them is the Das family. Its 3 members lost their lives in the crash. 48-year-old Binod Das, who on Saturday collected bodies of his wife, 24-year-old daughter Bishnupriya and 21-year-old son Sandeep, broke down after getting rupees 10 lakh ex gratia amount.
भैया ये जो 50,000 मिली और 9,050 लाख मिली, ये प्रोसेस आप कैसे थे? कौन आपकी जो रिलेटिव है, कौन किसकी देहांत हो गई है इस एक्सीडेंट?
मिसेस के और मिसेस और मोझियो और पुत्रा।
आपका मिसेस, आपकी लड़की और साथ में आपके पुत्र की भी, तीनों की देहांत हुई है। कहाँ से वो ट्रेन में चढ़े थे?
बालेश्वर चढ़ दिले।
और कहाँ जा रहे थे?
कटक।
While nearly 300 died and 900 were injured, many bodies are still unclaimed, and family members are still searching for their loved ones.
You can see this is the huge hall in which the bodies have been kept, and also there has been a help desk that has been created with police officials, other officials creating the database. Photographs have been put up so that somehow, n number of numerous families who are traveling from various locations can come and, identify their loved ones, the dead bodies of their loved ones.
40-year-old Vijendra Rishidev has lost contact with his 21-year-old son Suraj, who was on the ill-fated train traveling to Chennai with his brothers in search of a living.
किसको ढूंढने के लिए?
मैं अपना लड़का को।
क्या नाम है उनका?
सूरज कुमार।
कुछ पता चला उनका?
पता नहीं चला है अभी।
तो क्या उनके फोन पे बात हो पाई थी?
जी नहीं, उसको पास फोन नहीं था, उसका साथ में सभी का फोन था।
अच्छा।
उसको पास फोन नहीं था।
तो अभी बात हुई कोई भी अधिकारी से?
नहीं सर, देखने नहीं दिया तो क्या बात होगा, भगा दिया।
18-year-old survivor Sahin Alam, a resident of Bengal's Murshidabad district, is admitted in Balasore hospital with severe injuries on his face and legs. The man on the adjoining bed shares Alam's fate.
साथ में जो और मैंने जा रहा था पैसेंजर, एक को देखा तो ऊपर से कटा हुआ, वो मेरा ऊपर ही गिरा था, ऊपर से कटा हुआ, सिर्फ मुंडी है, मेरा ऊपर ही गिरा था।
Thousands of lives have been torn apart in the deadly train mishap. Their injuries will be hard to heal. With Indrajit Kundu, Anirban, Ritik Mundal in Balasore, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, after 50 hours of the tragedy in Odisha, the accident-hit train tracks are fully functional. Restoration work got over in 51 hours, all under the watch of Rail Mantri, who camped at the site for over 50 hours now. Trial run has gotten over, but movements of passenger trains have started on both up and down lines. The trains are now crossing the affected area at a low speed as a precautionary measure. Ashwini Vaishnaw broke down while talking about the tragedy and the gigantic restoration work that his team is carrying out. Continuing his tirade against the BJP and the Prime Minister, Rahul Gandhi has highlighted the times when Congress mantris quit if there was a tragedy of this nature, asserting how BJP mantris can never do the same. The Congress and the opposition has been asking for Ashwini Vaishnaw's resignation.
अब तक 3 गाड़ियां जा चुकी है। टोटल रात में करीब 7 गाड़ियां प्लान्ड है और एकदम नॉर्मलाइजेशन की तरफ ले जाना है और बहुत ही संवेदना के साथ जिन परिवारों के मेंबर्स खो गए उनको किसी न किसी जल्दी से जल्दी उनके पास उनके परिवारजन पहुंचे, ये हमारा दायित्व अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है।
All of you came here by car using your cars. Imagine if the only thing you did was look in the rear view mirror.
We have visuals, in fact, coming in of Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, who is holding talks with US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who is, in fact, in India for 2 days. This is a 2-day visit that has started. Moments ago, we got your pictures of the ceremonial welcome, and now we have pictures of the talks which are ongoing. This, of course, is going to pave the way for sharing of critical military technology and equipment. What we're also expecting is that China's aggressive behavior in the Indo-Pacific, as well as the line of actual control, is going to be discussed, and also ways to combat the threat of terrorism.
They recently met at Hiroshima for the Quad leaders meeting. To the US in the third week of
the visit of Secretary Austin comes just 2 weeks ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to Washington as well.
our strategic cooperation by pursuing a stronger defense industrial engagement, easing up technology restrictions, resilient supply chains in all domains.
Visuals coming in right now, in fact, of the US Defense Secretary meeting with the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. There are bilaterals that have just started, as you saw in those pictures. Moments ago, there was a ceremonial welcome as well. He is, in fact, in India for 2 days, and this comes at a time just before Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to Washington in 2 weeks from now. Also, he's spoken about the fact that this is, in fact, for discussions about strengthening major defense partnership between India and the US. The US Defense Secretary in fact, also I tweeted about it, saying that we're advancing a shared vision for a free and open Indo-Pacific, indicating that China and its aggressive maneuvers definitely will be on the agenda. Also, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and Mr. Austin are set to discuss General Electric's proposal to share technology with India for fighter jet engines, and New Delhi's plan to procure 30 MQNB 9B armed drones at a cost of $3 billion from the US defense major General Atomics Aeronautical Systems (INC). Besides other issues, is what we've been given to understand. India, of course, has been looking at manufacturing of jet engines in the country under the framework of technology transfer to power its fighter aircraft. Interestingly, in the past, America designated India as a major defense partner, paving the way really for sharing of critical military equipment and technology. US Defense Secretary has arrived from Singapore. It is Secretary Austin's second visit to India. His previous trip was in the year March 2021.
To the US in the third week of June 2023. Our the India-US bilateral relationship has seen a growing convergence of strategic interests and enhanced defense, security, and pride have had regular interactions. They share an excellent personal rapport. They recently met at Hiroshima for the Quad leaders meeting. To the US in the third week of June 2023. Our
on the agenda and bilateral talks, critical tech like jet engines, more ships from the US and India for maintenance, repair. This is what we've been given to understand. US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is in India, holding talks with Rajnath Singh. These are pictures, in fact, of the bilaterals that have just started. They're essentially looking at greater cooperation on development of advanced technologies, to talks on joint manufacturing of critical technologies such as indigenous jet engines for fighter aircraft and ships, is what Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has said. Range of bilateral issues will be discussed, is what we've been given to understand. This includes China's aggressive maneuvers. This, of course, is Lloyd Austin's second visit to India, and really his 7th official visit to the Indo-Pacific region. Focus is going to be on industrial cooperation, and this visit comes a month ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's official state visit to the White House. Bringing in US ships to India for overhaul, maintenance and repair and overall capacity building, overall regional security are some issues that will feature in the bilateral talks. With that, it's time for a quick commercial break here. We're getting you much more on that story and the top focus from Odisha in just a bit. Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Is there enough understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times, only on India Today.
We have some news just coming in. Protesting wrestlers met Home Minister Amit Shah. Claimed the meeting with Home Minister Amit Shah was inconclusive. What we're also picking up is that demands are still being made for Brij Bhushan's arrest, is what Sakshi's husband essentially has said. Wrestlers have chalked out a future plan. Wrestlers continue to be defiant, say they will not back out. For weeks together now, wrestlers have been protesting, demanding the arrest of Brij Bhushan Charan Singh. What we also know is that the wrestlers have said that they had a meeting, in fact, with Home Minister Amit Shah. Sakshi Malik's husband, in fact, has spoken to my colleague Nitin. Let's listen in.
मिलने गए थे तो मतलब क्या बात हुई, कुछ निष्कर्ष निकल पाया?
कुछ निष्कर्ष नहीं निकला,
कोई समाधान नहीं निकल पाया।
नहीं, कोई समाधान नहीं निकला।
अच्छा, वहाँ पर आप लोगों की मतलब बात क्या हुई थी? क्या आप लोगों ने क्या पक्ष रखा था?
कुछ नहीं, हमारे तो बस वही बताया कि गिरफ्तारी करो, वहाँ से आया ही नहीं, हमारा तो भी अपने से वो बजरंग करवा आगे का हम अभी मिल के सोच रहे हैं, मैं जैसे ही कुछ होगा हम बताता हूँ।
आप लोग जब अमित शाह से मिलने गए थे तो मतलब क्या बात हुई, कुछ निष्कर्ष निकल पाया?
कुछ निष्कर्ष नहीं निकला गया,
कोई समाधान नहीं निकल पाया?
नहीं, कोई समाधान नहीं निकला।
अच्छा, वहाँ पर आप लोगों की मतलब बात क्या हुई थी? क्या आप लोगों ने क्या पक्ष रखा था?
कुछ नहीं, हमारी तो बस वही बताया कि किसी गिरफ्तारी करो, और इससे ज्यादा कोई बात वहाँ से आया ही नहीं, हमारा तो भी अपने से वो बजरंग करवा आगे का हम अभी मिल के सोच रहे हैं, मैं जैसे ही कुछ होगा हम बताता हूँ।
आप लोग जब अमित शाह से मिलने गए थे तो मतलब क्या बात हुई, कुछ निष्कर्ष निकल पाया?
कुछ निष्कर्ष नहीं निकला गया,
कोई समाधान नहीं निकल पाया?
नहीं, कोई समाधान नहीं निकला।
अच्छा, वहाँ पर आप लोगों की मतलब बात क्या हुई थी? क्या आप लोगों ने क्या पक्ष रखा था?
कुछ नहीं, हमारी तो बस वही बताया कि किसी गिरफ्तारी करो, और इससे ज्यादा कोई बात वहाँ से आया ही नहीं, हमारा तो भी अपने से वो बजरंग करवा आगे का हम अभी मिल के सोच रहे हैं, मैं जैसे ही कुछ होगा हम बताता हूँ।
Nitin, in fact, continues to be with us. Nitin, talk to us a little about this meeting that was held between the wrestlers and the Home Minister. What we are picking up is that it was inconclusive. When was this meeting held, and what has the government essentially said?
So this crucial meeting happened on Saturday night, and wrestlers were there. Sakshi, Bajrang and Satyavrat, the three wrestlers were there in the meeting, and around 1 hour this meeting lasted. But as per Satyavrat, this meeting was inconclusive. Wrestlers actually tried to convey their demands, and actually they wanted to narrate all the story, that what exactly they are going through and what their demands are. So they categorically said that we want Bhushan to be arrested, and that is what our demand is. But Satyavrat said that this meeting was inconclusive. There was no result as of now. So that is why they are now planning and checking out their next course of action. And remember that there is a deadline of 9th of June, and there will be some half meetings in between. The wrestlers are also going to meet each other and to decide that what steps should be taken to intensify this agitation and to get the result as of now.
Be with us, Nitin. I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now. We'll play out the interview, in fact, once again that you had with Sakshi Malik's husband.
आप लोग जब अमित शाह से मिलने गए थे तो मतलब क्या बात हुई, कुछ निष्कर्ष निकल पाया?
कुछ निष्कर्ष नहीं निकला गया,
कोई समाधान नहीं निकल पाया?
नहीं, कोई समाधान नहीं निकला।
अच्छा, वहाँ पर आप लोगों की मतलब बात क्या हुई थी? क्या आप लोगों ने क्या पक्ष रखा था?
कुछ नहीं, हमारी तो बस वही बताया कि किसी गिरफ्तारी करो, और इससे ज्यादा कोई बात वहाँ से आया ही नहीं, हमारा तो भी अपने से वो बजरंग करवा आगे का हम अभी मिल के सोच रहे हैं, मैं जैसे ही कुछ होगा हम बताता हूँ।
Nitin continues to be with us. Nitin, a sense of what really is the future course of action of these wrestlers?
Well, as of now, wrestlers are in Haryana and they are going to meet today. I spoke to Satyavrat and I spoke to one of more athletes. They are saying that we are meeting today, and also there are some half panchayats in between just before 9th of June. Basically, this is a plan that to all the wrestlers meet and decide that what steps should be taken as a next course of action. But as of now, all the wrestlers who are the face of this agitation, especially Bajrang, Sakshi, Village, Satyavrat, Angita Fogart, all are meeting, and in this meeting particularly they will decide the action. But remember, the meeting between the wrestlers and the Home Minister was inconclusive, and wrestlers were very they were expecting some results from this meeting, but as of now, as Satyavrat made it clear that the meeting which held on Saturday night was inconclusive, and from now on they want to be united, they want to fight this agitation, and that is why all the leaders, all the farmer leaders will be meeting, and from there, after 9th of June, they will decide and announce that what steps they are going to take.
You know, the government has always maintained this, Nitin. This may not be to the liking, of course, of the wrestlers who demand the immediate arrest of Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, but the Home Minister, they're also reiterating that the law must take its own course.
Well, of course, and but on the other hand, wrestlers are very adamant from day one. I mean, remember in January when they came for the very first time at Jantar Mantar and they made serious allegations against Bhushan Saran Singh, including the taxi thing. But in just 3 days, there was a 2 rounds of meeting with Anurag Thakur, and everything was sorted out. Committees were formed. But this time, it's almost 47 days. Remember, they are not at Jantar Mantar, but they are preparing each and everything. What step should be taken? What should be our next future course of action? Do we need more meetings? Do we need more support? Do we need meetings with Khap Panchayat, former leaders? Whatever is required, they are planning and they are.
तो उसी सिलसिले में आए हैं, लेकिन आप लोग भी आते रहते हैं हर बार, तो अच्छा लगता है, ताकि जेपी की भूमिका को भी जरूर लोगों को कहते रहिए, हर बार कहते हैं। भागलपुर में पुल गिर गया है। हाँ, भागलपुर में जो हुआ है, अभी कुछ समय पहले एक बार और हुआ था, तो उसी समय हमने कहा ऐसा क्यों हुआ है, और जबकि हम इसको बनाने के लिए हमने बहुत पहले तय किया था। हमने 12 में ही देखा, अब 14 से काम शुरू हुआ। अब जिसको भी दिया गया है एजेंसी, अब इतना देर क्यों हो रहा है? और एक गिर गया था तो उस समय भी हमने कहा था, 1 साल पहले की बात है। अब फिर जब 2 हो, ये फिर गिरा है, कल ही हमको पता चला है, तो तुरंत हमने विभाग के सब लोगों को कहा कि जा करके देख लीजिए और तुरंत एक्शन लीजिए। ये कोई तरीका नहीं, अब तक तो हो जाना चाहिए था जी। बहुत हो गया है, देर हुआ है, तो काहे के लिए ऐसा कोई होता है, एजेंट कोई बना रहा है, इतना देर क्यों कर रहा है? मुझको बड़ा तकलीफ हुआ, इसलिए हमने कह दिया कि उसको तत्काल देखिए, और ठीक नहीं बना रहा है तभी ना गिर जा रहा है भाई। इसका मतलब उसको तो और मजबूती से बनना चाहिए था, बन करके और तैयार हो जाता। लोगों को कितनी खुशी थी, हम कितना पहले जा करके एक एक चीज को देख करके कराए हुए, लेकिन जो नहीं हुआ हमको बड़ी तकलीफ है। और अब डिपार्टमेंट अब इस बात को देख लेगा, हमारे उप मुख्यमंत्री को भी ये चीज की मालूम जानकारी है कि सब लोग उसको जल्दी से जल्दी, जो नहीं करेगा तो अपनी तरफ से जितना भी जल्दी हो सकता है उस काम को कराने का हम लोगों की इच्छा है। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, कह तो रहे हैं, कल ही तो हम बोल दिए हैं, जैसे ही हमको खबर जैसे ही मिला वैसे ही तुरंत हमने सबसे बात किया, इसलिए इसके लिए चिंता मत करिए।
उड़ीसा में 300 लोग लगभग मर गए, 1000 लोग घायल हुए।
तो आप लोग कहते हैं रेलवे का, तो जब हम श्रद्धेय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी की सरकार में थे रेल मंत्री, और उस समय भी कहीं कहीं तो हमने तो बार बार हम कहते थे रिजाइन कर, हम नहीं करेंगे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं इस काम को करिए। और जब यूपी में तो यहीं पर हो गया था बहुत ज़्यादा, वेस्ट बंगाल में बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर, आप समझ लीजिए 1999 में 1999 में जब हम थे, हाँ, तो वो हम थे रेल मंत्री ही, और वो एक्सीडेंट वहाँ हो गया था, वहाँ जा करके देखे, और वहाँ से जब हम आए हमने रास्ते में भी कहा, और श्रद्धेय अटल जी को, प्रधानमंत्री जी को हमने कहा कि भाई हम रिजाइन करते हैं, ये ठीक नहीं, तो उन्होंने उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया। लेकिन बाद में हम फिर गए और हमने कहा कि सर मेरे इस्तीफे को दोबारा हमने दिया, स्वीकार किया जाए, नहीं तो हमको बहुत तकलीफ है, इतनी बड़ी दुर्घटना घटी है, ये हमको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, और तुरंत चुनाव वगैरह भी होने वाला है, तो हमको जाएंगे, हमको बड़ा खराब लगेगा, इसलिए कृपा करके हमको छोड़ दीजिए।
Already heard from, in fact, the Bihar Chief Minister talking about both developments vis-a-vis the bridge collapse in Bhagalpur and also this horrific incident from Odisha where the 3-train collision in fact led to so many people dying. He said that I, as the railway minister, had resigned, is what Nitish Kumar said. Tracking that story and much more on the other side of this break as well. For the moment, that is bringing us to the end of this edition. News, however, continues on the other side.
ChatGPT become your lawyer? Can generative AI chatbots replace human lawyers? Well, these questions have become a big concern for the lawyer community and law students around the world. The fire was fueled further with the launch of AI tools like Do Not Pay. Do Not Pay is the world's first robo-lawyer. Founded by Joshua Browder, a Stanford University computer scientist, Do Not Pay is an AI legal services chatbot meant to help people deal with minor legal issues such as late fees, fines and traffic tickets. As of March 2023, Do Not Pay has been used in 250,000 cases and won 160,000 of them, with a success rate of 64%. Now the company and its founder have been sued. And it's not just one lawsuit. Multiple cases pointing various errors have been filed, where the robo-lawyer, instead of pleading not guilty, pleaded guilty. In one of the cases, it did not notify its client about a hearing. There are other cases of blunders as well. But more importantly, the AI chatbot is being sued for practicing law without a license, which is mandatory for human lawyers. Despite legal hurdles, other artificial intelligence chatbots are popping up. Allen and Overy, an international M&A firm, introduced Harvey, a chatbot to help with research and extraction of clauses, a job which is primarily for freshers in a law firm. Interestingly, it has been named after the protagonist of a popular legal drama, Suits. Ironically, this comes at a time when the company is experiencing high attrition rate.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 41 and minimum 26 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 31 and minimum 28 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 41 and minimum 28 degrees. Bengaluru, maximum 33 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 36 and minimum 29 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 39 and minimum 24 degrees.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Watching India Today.
Hello, very good morning. You're watching India Today TV. I'm Sneha Murdani. Let's tell you what the top stories are this Monday morning first. Southeast Railway account books have been accessed. No spending on anti-collision systems in 3 years. Out of 43 crores sanctioned, not 1 rupee was spent. As Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw calls for a CBI probe in the train tragedy, restoration of train tracks completed within 51 hours. 2 days ahead of the deadline, Rail Minister gets emotional.
परिवारों के मेंबर्स खो गए, उनको किसी न किसी जल्दी से जल्दी उनके पास उनके परिवारजन पहुंचे, ये हमारा दायित्व अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ।
Rahul Gandhi attacks the Modi government in New York over Odisha train tragedy, says Modi driving the car of India looking at the rear view mirror. The Congress mantris resigned the last time a tragedy happened.
The Congress party did not get up and say, now it is the fault of the British that the train has crashed. No, the Congress minister, I remember, said, it is my responsibility the train has crashed, I am resigning.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar orders probe into the bridge collapse. BJP attacks Nitish over the bridge collapse though, says criminal collusion of Neta Babu Builder. Protesting wrestlers meet Home Minister Amit Shah. This happened on Saturday late night. Claimed the meeting with Amit Shah was inconclusive. Wrestlers defiant. They say they won't back out. A year after hijab, halal and azan, Congress promises to revoke the cow slaughter ban, says no wrong in slaughtering cows. We have some news just coming in. Budding sporting heroes are facing apathy. Made to sleep on the floor, denied proper food. Delhi government lets down the school game participants. Khelo India spirit insulted by the Arvind Kejriwal government. Shoddy arrangement in Delhi government schools. India Today is unmasking the betrayal of young talents. Pictures on your screen right now of Khelo India athletes. Essentially, these are young sports persons who have been let down by the government. They've been made to sleep on the floor, denied proper food. The Delhi government evidently letting down the school game participants. Khelo India spirit has been insulted by the Arvind Kejriwal government. Shoddy arrangement in Delhi government schools. India Today is unmasking the betrayal of young talents.
We are here at East Delhi's Sarvodaya Vidyalaya. 66 national schools games are taking place here. Players from far-flung areas and other states have come here to play various games. But as we have seen here, the visuals, the services provided to the players are miserable. No beds are provided. We have talked with some of the students. They have told us that till late night, around 3 and 4, there was no mattress, there was no bed, and there was even water facility and food facility was very bad. So here we will talk with some of the players. We'll ask them how they have coped up with the situation last night. What is your name?
Okay. My name is Denny Gersian. I'm a Meghalaya shooting coach.
Okay.
And we have reached here from yesterday, and we have made a very worst accommodation. And first we got on that school there in Model Town, and then because we got it, we didn't get anything to sleep. We shift to Oyo for 1 night, and then they transfer here for us. And then yesterday also we got this type of accommodation, and we come from a very far place, and we doesn't expect to be like this.
What was the condition last night here when you came?
The first time when we came here, it was completely empty, the room. There was nothing around, plus around 4 they said they will bring mattress blankets and pillow
Around
and all.
4?
They told us that they will bring.
Okay.
But actually we got it in the morning around 8:30 something, we got the mattresses and the pillow.
You got the mattress and pillows around 8:30. And what about coolers and other services?
Oh, the cooler, it was there, but we didn't notice that it was able to use.
So till 8 in the morning you slept on the floor.
On the floor.
From the words coming from our young players, one can understand the situation, the bad situation of sports here in the school. We'll also talk with some other players, with the cameraman and reporter Amarjeet Singh. I am Anmolnath Bali from East Delhi.
Anmol is in fact getting asked more details. He joins us live right now. Anmol got us a ground report. Anmol, what is the authority, or what are the authorities really in fact saying about this sort of, laxity and apathy, if I may, on as far as these athletes and the way they've been allowed to put up here is concerned? Why couldn't more be done for them?
Ma'am, when we came here, the situation was very bad. We talked with some of the students from Northeast, Maharashtra, Jammu and Kashmir and Madhya Pradesh. They told us that when they came here, the bathroom was in very bad situation. There was littering, filthy. The students have cleaned the bathroom to make it working. So you can imagine from this what would be the situation here. They got the mattress in the morning. Till that they slept on the floor. And if we talk about the food, even they are not provided good food. They are provided fatty food, fried food. When we ask about the diet, they are either providing puri, dal which is also not they are able to eat. We have got some visuals where they have thrown the plates. They have not even touched the food because food was looking so bad that no one even want to eat that food.
But any word really from the authorities? Okay, we'll in fact just go back to Anmol in a moment from now, but we're getting in these details of the shoddy provisions there. Budding athletes made to sleep on the floor, and like Anmol was telling us, they were even denied proper food. We're going across to some news just coming in. Shocking developments. Another train has derailed in Odisha's Bargarh. It's a goods train that is derailed in Odisha. 5 bogies of the goods train derailed near the Mendapalli of Bargarh district. Details are awaited. Another derailment in Odisha after the devastating one that we saw on Friday. We're waiting, in fact, for more details on that story, but what we know is that this is a goods train that has been derailed. This is in Bargarh. 5 bogies of the goods train have been derailed near the Mendapalli of Bargarh district, is what we've been given to understand. The Bargarh district is seeing another derailment of a goods train. This comes just hours after, in fact, 3 days after another derailment in Odisha, in Balasore, that claimed close to 300 lives and injured over 1,000 people. This is in fact a goods train that has derailed. Pictures on your screen right now. Another goods train derailment in Odisha. Pictures on your screen are of that derailment. Indrajit Kundu has more details on that. Indrajit, what really has happened in this case?
Hello?
Yes, Indrajit, I was asking you if you have more details on that. A goods train, as you can see on your screen, 5 bogies of which have been derailed. We'll try and go across to our reporters on that story in just a moment from now. This is Bargarh district. However, pictures on your screen right now of the derailment in Odisha. A goods train has been derailed is what we know. 5 bogies of a goods train have derailed. This is the Mendapalli of Bargarh district. Details are awaited. Indrajit, in fact, I'm hoping is going to be back with us for more details on that. 5 bogies of the train have been derailed. This comes just days after the horrific accident. First the derailment and then the collision of 3 trains in Balasore. Derailment of yet another goods train. This in Odisha once again. The Bargarh goods train has derailed in Odisha, where 5 bogies of the goods train have derailed near the Mendapalli of Bargarh district. Pictures on your screen right now are from the spot in Bargarh in Odisha, where 5 bogies of the train have been derailed once again, just days after the horrific derailment of trains in Balasore, and then of course the collision that killed almost 300 people. What we've also been given to understand is that police have reached the spot. Initial information seems to suggest that the goods train was carrying limestone. We'll wait to hear for more details in fact. But this incident has been reported from Bargarh district. Wagons of a goods train carrying limestone have derailed in Bargarh. Police have reached the spot is what we know. Sketchy details at the moment, but this just comes days after the Balasore mishap, accident in which the trains derailed and there was a collision. There is another derailment in Odisha. Five bogies of a goods train had derailed near Mendapalli of the Bargarh district. The police have reached the spot, is what we know. Indrajit has more details in that. Indrajit, what more can you tell us right now about this mishap?
Well, Sneha, these are initial reports. What we are hearing is that there has been a derailment of a goods train in Bargarh district of Odisha. However, the local police has still not been able to confirm this information. We are trying to get a word in from the local administration, but images have surfaced right now, which clearly shows that there has been a goods train which has derailed. It was carrying limestone at this point in time, is what we are told. And several wagons of the goods train carrying limestone has derailed in Bargarh district, in Mendapalli area of Bargarh district. This was apparently en route from Bargarh, from Dunguri to Bargarh. However, there is no casualty. So this is a goods train. It was traveling through Bargarh district this morning, and it has derailed, is what we are hearing, what we are picking up. However, the local administration is yet to react on it, especially the Bargarh Police Department.
Happened there, and also, if at all, there have been any injuries, Indrajit?
No, there hasn't been any injuries so far. We haven't got any information about any injury, but what we do see, of course, in the visuals that we have been able to access is that a goods train that was carrying limestone apparently has, some of the bogies of that goods train has derailed, and it happened in Bargarh district of Odisha, and it was traveling from, it has happened near, this incident has happened near Sambardhara area, and it was traveling from Dunguri to Bargarh, in Bargarh district.
Well, sketchy details at this moment, and understandably, we'll in fact try and get more details from Indrajit, but this is surely worrying. Just 3 days after that horrific accident in Balasore and Rajit, we haven't even recovered from it. And now another mishap, speaking volumes of the fact that